Studio 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The jury has the case. Lisa Brady, Fox News, an anonymous panel of 9.
Oh, hello.
We're back. Kind of.
Yeah, we're about half back.
That's exactly how Hannah feels right now.
Yeah.
We're going to tell you all about this show that we have coming up. It is actually packed. It's a very good show. We're also going to go around the room and just talk about our
When did you buy that?
Why do you say actually?
It's packed. Well, it's packed.
No,
it's
you
actually
said it's
packed.
Actually
Okay,
Yeah,
let's
okay.
get to it.
Comparatively
to the rest of what we know.
to normal shows.
All right.
Number one.
Hey.
Number one.
I'm going.
I know. I'm setting you up.
We've spent too much
Number
time
one.
together.
Say, it sounds like we've been in close contact.
Okay, today's YouTube live
I now
chat
know
poll.
what she likes to eat more than I used
Hush
to.
up.
Who is your choice for president in 2024? Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, or someone else? This is a loaded question.
We're going to discuss it at 12:25, all of us.
Oh, cool.
I just made that decision.
Okay.
Executive decision.
Starting off the show with a punch, Missouri's Attorney General Andrew Bailey is going to join us. So we're starting off with some news right there.
He's going to talk about Kim Gardner and her pending resignation.
Okay. 12:25, the crew, we're going to talk about the poll question. And then
If you didn't know.
we're going to switch up.
That's for you guys.
Breaking news.
This
Yeah.
is the pre-show
For us.
informative session.
We are going to be in here at 12:25 talking about that.
I just found out. You just found out.
Yeah.
Wiggins America is getting the boot today.
Just a little later.
Just
Eastern
mini
time
boot.
Yeah.
Or something.
Not like in the butt, like one on your car.
Yeah.
Down the road.
Yeah.
We have the owners of Mom Water coming in. We
So
all
excited.
love Mom Water, especially Wiggins, who claims that he doesn't drink on air and then gets
And,
caught.
I think is that the thing that I was drinking in that clip?
Yeah.
Was mom water? That's what I
Yes.
thought.
Yeah.
Sandy.
Yeah, that's right.
Drinking the Sandy.
At 1:05, Jim Carafano, we hope to connect with him.
He's in Prague, so if there's a
Oh,
If
great.
there's
He's
a
gonna speak with like
connection
all important.
And we're moving Wiggins America to 1:45, and we're gonna do Monday Roundup
On
Tuesday edition.
Yeah, Tuesday edition of the Monday Roundup.
And then at 2:45, I will give you guys the poll results to the question, who is your choice for president in 2024? Biden, Trump, DeSantis, or someone else? We are here. We're here.
Oh, we got live. Okay.
And we're ready.
not yet.
Oh.
Well, but yeah.
Well, just real quick. How's your calves?
I am hurting.
Your calves?
Everything.
Is
My
it your feet?
I'm fine.
Feet.
You're fine?
Are your feet better than
Guess what I'm wearing?
What? Oh, you're wearing the socks.
PSS?
Prevent sprain socks.
Woo!
Oh,
Slept
sweet.
in them and put on a different pair this morning. Extra compression, and I am back. As much as I don't want to wear like crew socks that are black at Disney World with my sandals, I'm considering it.
Mm-hmm.
They're so fantastic.
Amanda asked, what time did you guys get in? Our plane landed at 11:30. We all got home around,
Midnight.
Midnight.
Yeah.
a little after.
It was it a little after
I
11:30?
I was
after,
like-
yeah.
yeah.
I was after 12:30.
We had to fly around some thunderstorms yesterday, so we didn't hit any, but it made the
We
flight
did?
longer.
Annie's got a live here.
Yeah.
We were sleeping.
Yeah, you guys were out. Me and Brad were. I was next to a stranger, so I couldn't fall on her.
Well, you could have,
I'm
but
worried about that stranger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a local.
Yeah.
That's the thing about flying back.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk about more of that.
Okay.
We're going to talk about the trip a little bit at 2 o'clock until we get hated on by the people who are really, really angry that we have so much fun.
Once the hate comes, then we're just gonna really go
Yeah,
at
it'll
them.
all go
Yeah.
fast. But we have a real show for you. We're excited to be back,
Yes. Right, Hannah?
but we're back.
right.
Got to fund that Disney travel addiction.
15
one way.
seconds.
All right.
Bye.
Medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Good Feet arch supports fit in all your own shoes. Come to the Good Feet store for a free test walk today. You can try it before you buy it.
aircomfortservice.com. If you are visiting the aircomfortservice.com website, you're quickly going to probably see that hybrid system bundle opportunity for you through May 26th. So this is Right now, through May 26, you can save up to $7,500 in manufacturer and utility rebates, tax credits as well on a hybrid HVAC system. If you're in the market for a new HVAC system, get on this offer. When you reach out to Air Comfort Service, tell me Annie Frey Show sent you. I am a customer of theirs, a multi-time customer of theirs. 314-513-0091. You call 314-513-0091. They are a 9-time recipient of Carrier's President's Award, named a top workplace by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, and they have thousands of 5-star reviews that you can read and check out online. HVAC systems going to be an investment, of course, not really like the super excited one. They know that, so they make the process a very, very pleasant and easy one, and they also have the goods to back it up. Check out the reviews. 5 stars for myself as well. AirComfortService.com.
St. Louis physician Dr. Abicki created Neovitin 15 years ago to help support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Since then, Neovitin has helped thousands of people support their daily nutrition with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Abicki's proprietary blend. If you're ready to join many St. Louisans in supporting their nutrition, give Neovitin a try. You can find Neovitin at your local Schnucks, Dierbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
There are over 10,000 reasons why steel is not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot. Find tools for the job site or your own backyard at over 10,000 authorized local steel dealers. Find yours at steelusa.com. Lowe's and the Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom.
It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
It's great. We need nurses. Unfortunately, she already has a job. She's supposed to be the top prosecutor for St. Louis. How can you take nursing classes when you're supposed to be in court trying cases? Kim Gardner has been dreadful as a prosecutor. Her office is in shambles. No one wants to work for her. Murder cases are not being prosecuted. If progressive means don't show up for work, destroy office morale, and coddle criminals, then yes, she's a progressive. She's resigning, thank God, on June the 1st. But what about the other so-called progressive prosecutors across the country? The media loves it when defense attorneys masquerade as prosecutors with such vacuous phrases as reimagine crime or redefine public safety. Do not be fooled. It's psychobabble. It's Latin for we're willing to do just about anything for criminals except prosecute them.
Trey Gowdy giving a little attention here locally to St. Louis and the push and pull that's going on with the Kim Gardner situation. Andrew Bailey, the Attorney General for the state of Missouri, has pressured her, and she has since announced her resignation, but said, I'll resign, but in the future here, in a few weeks, I will put my resignation in. Andrew Bailey has said, nope, that's not enough. I'm going to continue to pursue this. And he's with us here today. Attorney General for the state of Missouri, Andrew Bailey. Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. It's a pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you so much for having me on.
I want to know what your reaction is to what we've just heard there from Trey Gowdy, who knows a little bit about prosecution.
Yeah, Trey's analysis is spot on. Look, this is a Soros-funded prosecutor. So coastal elites came in and bought this elected office with out-of-state money with the idea of dismantling the criminal justice system, and they cloaked it under this concept of criminal justice reform, when in reality all this was death and destruction. 500 businesses have left St. Louis in the last several years. 96% of crimes reported by the police department go unprosecuted. There's an 8-month backlog of warrant referrals from the police department to the prosecutor's office, and she can't show up for a murder trial or a first-degree assault trial because she's busy taking nursing courses instead. I mean, it's the epitome of absurdity, and so we've got to keep fighting to get her out of office. How many more victims won't see their day in court, won't receive justice between now and June 1st? So it's time for the circuit attorney to go, the rule of law and justice to prevail.
Yeah, I hear people, very much so championing your efforts here in St. Louis, but the detractors say that this is a political move, and if she's resigned, that, let her resign. Why does he continue pushing? I want to know, as we speak here with the Missouri Attorney General, Andrew Bailey, give me some examples of the situation in St. Louis right now. I don't know if you can give us some real life examples of what people in the city who live here, work here, want to visit here, have had to endure under Kim Gardner's time in office.
Well, it's 10 to 12,000 cases dismissed. It's, again, she's missing court dates. And it's not court dates that are set for counsel status hearing or a suppression hearing or just a case update or a regular docket call. They're set for jury trial. These are witnesses that are subpoenaed. These are victims who look forward to that day in court to receive vindication, to receive justice under our legal system. And they don't get it because she doesn't show up because she's busy taking nursing courses. And the dismissal of all those cases, I mean, those are additional violent offenders out on the street. I mean, look at the Daniel Riley case alone. I mean, this is an instance where this violent offender should have never been out. He should have been behind bars awaiting trial. And instead, she consented to his bond. She consented to letting him out on the street, and he hurt somebody. I mean, this is absolutely absurd. And so this is what you get when you let a Soros-backed prosecutor come in and you let coastal elites buy this kind of office that have a different agenda that doesn't align with Missouri values. Because here, we want law and order. We believe that safer streets equal prosperous communities. Well, that's not what we get in the city of St. Louis with the circuit attorney in charge. 500 businesses are left. That's fewer jobs, fewer opportunities, less commerce here in the city, and it hurts the entire region. So we're going to continue to fight back. We need to get to the bottom of how this happened and what systems and structure we need to put in place to let it never happen again.
We're speaking with Andrew Bailey, the Attorney General for the state of Missouri. You mentioned 10 to 12,000 cases dismissed. I don't know if you can give us statistical comparisons to other cities that are similar to St. Louis, but how much of an abdication of her responsibilities does that number show us? What does it look like in other cities? I'd assume that there are cases dismissed, and for people who are not in the legal system, who don't understand how it functions outside of what they read in news headlines, how does Kim Gardner's responsibility in St. Louis compare to other places?
Well, her failure to do her job represents an unlawful refusal. I mean, at this point, it's not just that I disagree with her exercise of discretion. I do. But this has gone past that threshold, and now she's unlawfully refusing to do her job, and we know it's because she's doing something else. She's on taxpayer time. She's taking nursing courses. Well, good for her. If she wants to be a nurse, go be a nurse and quit pretending to be a prosecutor, because people are getting hurt because she won't do her job. But if you look at the amended petition we filed in this case, 121 pages of additional claims, additional evidence since that February date when we first initiated this process. And it's all because more witnesses came forward and voluntarily contacted my office. It was victims of crime, current and former police officers, former employees of the circuit attorney's office. I mean, there's a whole spectrum of individuals that had a story to tell that all pointed to her unlawful refusal to do her job. And we took the data. We looked at Jackson County, we looked at St. Louis County, we looked at St. Louis City, and the productivity from those prosecutors' offices versus the circuit attorneys. And you can see the trend lines. And those other offices are filing cases. They're doing their jobs while the circuit attorney is not. And so by way of comparison, she's not even close. I mean, 96% of crimes reported in the city of St. Louis did not result in criminal charges being issued by her office. 96%. That's I mean, if that's not an unlawful refusal to do your job, I don't know what is.
96%. My goodness. We're speaking with Andrew Bailey, the Attorney General for the state of Missouri. Law and order seems to be absent in St. Louis. For me, when I'm watching what's going on here, as somebody who's been a victim of crime in St. Louis, it seems as though the police are so overwhelmed with all of the different things that are taking place, the prioritization of violent crimes. It just seems as though there's not enough resources here, or maybe even a good application of the resources that exist in the city of St. Louis. There have been talks of other statewide intervention in the local St. Louis law and order scene. I'm curious if you think, outside of the Kim Gardner conversation, if there looks like there might be state control of the city police or other measures taken.
Well, and I know bills are moving in the General Assembly now. Obviously, we're in the closing hours of this legislative session, and I think it's going to be interesting to see what the legislature does. You know, the Senate needs to pass the bill that would bar the circuit attorney from ever obtaining office again. That's absolutely necessary as a first step to prevent this from happening in the future. But I'll tell you, there are good men and women at the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department who are dedicated to the rule of law and fighting for justice for victims, who put on a uniform and go out and take to the streets and put their lives on the line every day to do their job to make safer streets. And we need to support them. And the best way a prosecutor can support them is by reviewing the police reports they send to their office. When they conduct an investigation, prosecutorial discretion means reviewing that police report to determine if it supports a charge, what the charge should be, and ultimately what the disposition of the case should be. It is a dishonor to our men and women in uniform and those who have given their lives in the ultimate sacrifice to this community to ignore their police reports, let them stack up, charge some cases, and then dismiss them. I mean, that is an abhorrent way to treat these officers by disrespecting them, by not doing their job. The circuit attorney should be ashamed of herself. And so if you're a police officer, why would you want to get out of your car and do an investigation if you think the circuit attorney's only, there's a 96% chance she's not going to charge the case? And so the first step we can take is by enforcing the rule of law and having a prosecutor in place that's willing to file those charges, willing to review those police reports, and work with law enforcement to hold bad guys accountable.
Andrew Bailey with us right now. If you were to say, okay, she submitted her resignation letter effective June 1st, if you were to say, okay, that's good enough for me, what do you anticipate, or what is your fear would happen if you were to drop this pursuit at this point in time?
Well, number one, what if she changes her mind? What if she just says, nah, I actually don't want to leave. I'm going to stay in office. Then there is no mechanism in place to remove her. So we've got to keep the lawsuit going until such time as she's out and a judge dismisses the case. But also, we need to look at all the evidence and understand what went wrong here. I mean, when was she at class? How much class was she attending? At some point, the taxpayers are paying her to do a job that we know she's not doing. And now we know it's because, at least in part, she was doing something else. How much of taxpayer time was she spending at that nursing school? How much taxpayer time was she spending doing something else that is not part of her official duties? I mean, these are questions we need answers to. We need to understand what broke down in her office and how to fix it. But again, we need to look at all of this in the context of how do we make structural reform to prevent a relapse into the same situation we're in today. The status quo in the city of St. Louis is not going to cut it any longer. We've got to address this issue and make long-term reform to prevent this from ever happening again.
We're speaking with the Attorney General for the state of Missouri, Andrew Bailey. So if she does follow through with that resignation, or if you're able to remove her from office before that, what is the following process for replacing her as circuit attorney, and how quickly can this massive load of cases that are not being attended to right now while Kim Gardner is a circuit attorney, how fast, and is there anything that can be done to speed up the process so that people in St. Louis can see justice taking place?
Well, a couple of thoughts there. Number one, the governor is committed to replacing the circuit attorney with a candidate that he will have confidence in, that the rest of the state and the region can have confidence in, that will enforce the rule of law and share our values that safer streets equal prosperous communities. And so I know the governor is going to make a good appointment there. I know his office is already working on this issue and is working with regional leaders to identify what the needs are. Certainly, the governor has a multi-decade career in law enforcement, and as an elected sheriff, he worked closely with an elected prosecutor. He's been working on the St. Louis crime issue for several years now, so he knows what that office needs, and I'm confident that they'll make a great selection. I'm also really encouraged to see that there are regional leaders and business leaders and law firms here in St. Louis and in the region that have stepped up and said, hey, we can help. What can we do? It's an all-hands-on-deck approach, and there are people that want that office to be successful and want to chip in and assist. And I think there's really three targets. There's a close-in target, an intermediate target, and a longer-range target. The close-in target is the trial docket. What cases are scheduled for trial now? And do we have enough staff on hand now to prep those trials, make sure discovery's gone out so we're not violating the defendant's rights? And have we subpoenaed the right witnesses, and are those trials prepped to obtain a conviction? And we need to manage that first. That's the close-in target. And the more intermediate target is, okay, the 8-month backlog of warrant referrals from the police department. Who can start working through those and dedicate their time to filing new charges? Let's look at those referrals. Let's read those police reports. Let's do the hard work to get those cases in the system and filed and moving forward. And then the kind of the longer range target is, let's look at the 10 to 12,000 cases that were dismissed or declined. And let's find out which of those are still within the statute of limitations and where we believe that a charge would be appropriate. And let's re-engage that target. And that's going to take a little bit longer time, but I think you'll see an instant impact. I think that whoever the governor selects will be up to the challenge. The governor knows what it's going to take, and as long as they're methodical about it and with all the resources available at the state and regional level, there's no reason that this thing can't get turned around pretty quickly.
Final question for you. You're speaking with Andrew Bailey right now. Is as soon as that new circuit attorney is put into place and you seem to have confidence in the governor to pick somebody who's going to be right for St. Louis and be there to help acquire justice for the people of this city, does that immediately enable police officers and empower police officers to more adequately go about their job when they're putting their lives on the line in the city, which is very dangerous at times? Does that, I mean, just the like aura of having somebody in town who's going to say no, crime is bad and we're going to prosecute it, does that have a pretty immediate effect on the way police officers can do their job?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, why not? Look, to the criminals out there who are going to prey on the victims in the city of St. Louis, your reign of terror is over. And I am confident that whoever the governor selects is going to want to partner with law enforcement, not attack them, but partner with law enforcement to hold the wrongdoers accountable. And so that's the first step that we can make in reassuring our partners in the law enforcement community that we're going to back the blue and go after the bad guys, not the cops.
It's great to watch this unfold. I'm very excited in a really positive way to see where the city has the opportunity to take this. But of course, with each step of the way, you've got to make sure you address it head on. And Attorney General Andrew Bailey, we're grateful that you're on here talking to us and the listeners about it. We look forward to having you back.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Andrew Bailey, the Attorney General for the state of Missouri, at AG Andrew Bailey. If you want to continue to follow what his efforts are in this regard, I am very excited for the thought of police officers feeling like they can go do their job and not risk their lives, the lives of their children's fathers or their children's mothers, for what? 10 to 12,000 cases dismissed. What did he say it was 96%?
98.
Oh, my goodness. It's unreal to think about the free reign, in his words, of terror that crime has had on the city. Potentially, there is a threat to that reign of terror, and Andrew Bailey is leading that charge. I'm grateful to speak with him about that here. Quick break. When we come back, we're going to get the whole crew in the studio here, and we're going to talk about today's YouTube live chat poll. Who is your choice for president in 2024? Some news developing over the weekend. We continue to see Ron DeSantis making his case and kind of the repeated scoreboard of what he's been able to do in Florida. Looks good to me. How does it feel to you? Donald Trump's poll numbers crushing Joe Biden. Joe Biden's poll numbers crushing Joe Biden. Who do you have? Maybe it's one of those three. Maybe it's someone else. You go to the Annie Frey YouTube live chat, poll, and vote. We'll be back in a minute.
But baby, it's worth a shot. One shot from the top of the shelf, maybe two, what the hell?
This is the Annie Frey Show.
One shot, maybe all that we got. I don't know.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
If we could lose our inhibitions and say what we need to say, then maybe both of us could listen and get our pride out of the way. I'm still the guy that used to.
So let's talk about Jen Teskey and how she is the help that you need to get your home sold fast in Illinois. She is an expert with an expert team that will help you set up your whole house, stage your house, declutter your house, whatever it is that you need to do to make sure that your house doesn't look like your home, but like the next person's home, because that's how you sell it. They are the best at it. Jen Teskey with RE/MAX Alliance is available to call or text at 618-541-1010. That's 618-541-1010. Reach out to her and ask her how she can help you. Ask her how fast you think she thinks maybe you can sell her home. With over 15 years of experience helping families exactly like yours buy and sell homes in Illinois, you will quickly understand why when people choose Jen Teskey to sell their home, they recommend and rave about her after that. You can go to jenteskeyhomes.com and learn more about what she can do for you. But I also want you to give her a call or a text. Say, Annie said you're good at this. How can you help me sell my home? Or if you're looking to buy on the Illinois side, she can help you there as well. 618-541-1010. That's 618-541-1010.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
Over 90 90,000 satisfied customers since 1929. Frederick Roofing, 314-645-2000.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
An update from Illinois Family Institute, IllinoisFamily.org. The National Day of Prayer has come and gone, but there's more to pray about in Illinois, and state lawmakers especially need prayer.
Scripture tells us that we should be praying for these people.
Lawmakers want to shut down pregnancy care centers. There's a push for mandatory co-ed bathrooms, and male and female pronouns in state laws could soon be replaced with genderless terms. IFI's David Smith.
Many of these people have anti-family agendas that would actually harm our children, our family, our schools, our communities. Even if we don't agree with them, we must be praying for them because God can turn hearts and minds towards himself.
Pray for our elected leaders and sign up for IFI email alerts at IllinoisFamily.org.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
Jim Carafano coming up at the beginning of next hour. The time is 12:26. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
JerryKelly.com. 97.1 FM Talk. You're here, which means you've made at least one great decision today. St. Louis is home for conservative talk. This is 97.1 FM Talk. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Say it's alright, have a good time, cause it's alright, whoa, it's alright. Now we gonna
You know, it's true. When you're walking around Florida, this song just plays in the background.
Absolutely.
It does seem as if music always is playing.
Yeah.
It actually,
anywhere in the entire state.
It actually just starts at 35,000 feet as soon as you fly across the border.
That's how you know you're there.
Oh, we must be in Florida.
I miss it already.
It's hard to come
Don't
back.
say that. Don't say that, because we all are feeling it. We're trying not to say it.
Florida's pretty great, right?
Bursting outside of me.
Such a free state.
It's radiating.
It's a free state. It's got great weather. And especially this time of year, it's hot, but not too hot, just like we talked about before on the show.
It's okay if it's hot. It's good when it's hot.
But
it's
it was
Florida
hot. It was
the best.
Florida hot. It was exactly right.
And like the people are really nice. They congratulate you on things that aren't even true.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Which I don't even know if we should talk about at all. We probably shouldn't.
2 o'clock hour, people.
We'll put it in the 2 o'clock hour.
I don't know.
Oh, man.
We're going to talk a little bit about our weekend trip to Florida together in the 2 o'clock hour. Got to be sensitive to those people who are ultra sensitive about the kind of fun that I have. And it's always ironic to me how angry conservatives are about telling me how to spend my money. Like, it's kind of just like, maybe as conservatives, we should just not, let ourselves do.
View.
I don't know that it's a libertarian view.
It's a conservative. I mean, so much conservatism is libertarian, isn't it anymore?
Yeah. Just
it's
anyway.
like let me do me and you do you.
Just on a scale of 0 to 10, and we will elaborate in the 2 o'clock hour because we're going to get to the YouTube live chat poll here. On a scale of 1 to 10, Brad, how much fun did you have this weekend?
Oh, gosh. How much fun? 11. It was 11.
Hannah?
11.5.
Ryan?
Yeah, 11.6.
I was expecting like a 6.35.
I had to beat her.
It was good.
It was great.
Okay.
It was fantastic.
You want to stick around for the 2 o'clock hour, and we will
I have so much to say.
Divulge some more information. There was kind of a YouTube dump this morning, which makes me think of Tinkerbell.
Here we go.
Yeah,
Don't start.
We got so many.
We're slap happy, by the way.
So many inside jokes that we'll have to key you in on some so you can be on the inside with us.
Instagram dump will be later.
Speaking of how awesome Florida is, today's YouTube live chat poll: who is your choice for president in 2024? Saying Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, or someone else. If you go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel, you will see this poll in the live chat portion of the YouTube section. The someone else, if you want to vote for someone else, that's absolutely fine. Like, this is who you really want to be the winner in the 2024 election. But if you want someone else, do us a favor and tell us who it is that you would like to see with the comment. Listen to Molly Hemingway on this.
I mean, Joe Biden has really been trying to create this image that there is no point in anybody else getting in the race. That wouldn't work, that he's dominating everything. This is not the kind of poll that you want to see right after you have announced that you are running. There are a lot of people out there who are testing the waters. There's also the problem for Joe Biden that I think the plan might have been originally you would have Kamala Harris become president. By this point, it's easier for her to run as an incumbent president. That's not happening, clearly, because she's been even more of a disaster than anyone could have possibly imagined.
So Molly Hemingway highlighting the fact that Biden's like, nobody else, I got this. Nobody else needs to jump in, because when I have someone else in this poll, I'm thinking that there are some of you who are thinking, no, not Trump, not DeSantis. I want to see da-da-da-da-da-da. There are probably people who are Democrats who certainly don't want to see Donald Trump. There are probably Republicans who certainly don't want to see Donald Trump be the president again, who also know that it's not Biden and it needs to be somebody else. One more clip here before we go around the room here and figure out where we want to be. Brett Baer.
It seems in this poll, and remember, the caveat is it's one poll, it tracks with where the approval rating has been going in a number of polls, including our own, which is down 36% approval. And then you have this real concern about the president's mental acuity, his ability to do the job, his energy, his ability to be president of the United States. The real concerns inside these polls, the specific questions. But the biggest one is the electability question. If you're running against former President Donald Trump, the whole premise for the Biden team had been, both in the midterms and now it seems like this election run, is to run against President Trump, former President Trump, and say he's extreme, say the country can't go down that road. Well, in this poll, the former president is up 7 points and leading with independents.
Trump leads Biden by 7 points, according to Brett Baer, in this one poll. And since we're talking about polls, and Ryan loves polls so much he wants to marry them. Ryan?
I do love polls. I want to marry polls. I think you just mentioned that. I won't say that again. But
there's the voice.
These polls are such a dramatic shift. ABC News and Washington Post. Do you remember before the 2016 election, they seemed to traffic in the most extreme polls. And so this one is no different. It is looking at job approval from that same numbers that they put out, -19 for job approval for President Biden. Now that's way outside the margin, but it does show a trend that's moving toward anybody but Biden, which is a little bit surprising considering that he is announcing right now.
Who is your choice for president in 2024?
Somebody from Florida. Donald Trump or Ron DeSantis. I'm gonna pick Donald Trump right now.
That's who you want. If it's up to Ryan Wiggins.
If I got to pick, I'm going to pick him.
Brad, what about you?
I'm still Ron DeSantis. I think he would be a more effective president based on how he's been an effective governor.
I just had an idea. What if Ron DeSantis wins the primary and becomes the nominee, and Florida nominates Trump to replace DeSantis as governor for the rest of his term?
Oh man.
Wouldn't that be fun? I've never thought of that before.
Nobody's thought of that before.
Oh man.
I mean, yeah, okay, stop. Don't even finish writing out your comment on the chat about Donald Trump's not going to be the governor. I don't care. It's a thought experiment, and it's funny.
Yeah, and stop typing that voice.
Because he could fill the rest of that term and then do 2 more.
Oh!
He gets 6 years of Donald Trump
So
in the
Florida-
free state
He
of Florida.
do it.
Florida is still safe.
You're right.
Wouldn't it be funny if Ron DeSantis didn't endorse Donald Trump?
Oh, my God.
Of course he'd have to. I know, guys. It's not going to happen, but it's just fun to think about.
It is fun to think about.
Mhm.
Trump for Speaker of the House. Remember, that was going around for a while.
Oh, sure. It still will if he's not the guy.
Yeah, of course.
Sorry, were you just that thought bubbled into my brain, and I'm like, oh, that's hilarious.
No, I mean that's essentially the gist of what my comment was. Is I like the way Ron DeSantis runs his state. I like the way he handles the media, and I like the way his state has reacted to him. And
How cool would that be? That's best case scenario.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe tomorrow's poll is which scenario is better.
Which do you prefer?
Which do you prefer?
Oh, write it down.
Yeah.
Hannah, I don't know where you are on this question.
You
Who's
don't?
your choice for president in 2024?
Top Gov, Ron DeSantis, all the way. I love everything about Ron DeSantis. His track record is amazing. I think he'd be great. He has 100% of my support. Always.
Mic drop.
Mic drop.
We're flying Florida on Saturday morning, or maybe you might think it was Friday night.
Depends on how much you slept.
And Brad and Ryan spent the night at my house, and we all went to the airport together, except for Hannah met us there. And here comes Hannah walking into the airport wearing a shirt that looks like Top Gun, but it says Top Gov, and it's a silhouette instead of Tom Cruise. It's a silhouette of Ron DeSantis. That's how she went to Florida.
Yep. Proudly.
I mean, was it Vicky here said she's even interested in RFK Jr.?
For Prez?
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to see. Gosh, he offers a lot of stuff that other people aren't, that I would just love to see him part of something. He's a fascinating guy.
How committed do you have to be to completely sink or swim to be Donald Trump's vice presidential candidate? I mean, you're not going to be Trump's VP and ever be anything other than Trump bubble. I mean, like I said, that's going for the full Monty. That's the whole thing. Because if you don't win, the primary, I don't know if he would come out and say it's very possible, I think, that Trump does have a ticket in the primary.
I don't know. Because there are people who I look at right now who are running for president technically who look like they might be running for something like vice president. And those people, if you have a career that's very established before becoming the vice president, you might have an image that could, exist outside the Trump bubble. Nikki Haley would be that, in my opinion, that she might be able to kind of cross into both worlds for people.
I wonder if Pompeo is the vice president. I wonder if he is the reason he decided not to run is because he's on the super short list. I've read most of Mike Pompeo's book, which is really an interesting book because if you're interested in Donald Trump's presidency, Mike Pompeo, there are a lot of things on the global scene that Donald Trump did, and we didn't talk about any of those things because we were talking about all the stupid stuff, all of the drama the entire time. I've kind of suspected that maybe that's why Pompeo didn't run. And Mike Pompeo was the longest serving person in Trump's cabinet. It's very possible that these other individuals could be. And I mean, to me, it's still, who's my choice? If it's up to Annie Frey on who's going to be the president in 2024, I'm picking Ron DeSantis. But it's without a doubt that Donald Trump would still be infinitely better than Joe Biden. And I would love to see Donald Trump win re-election. That would be, especially sitting from where I'm sitting right now, incredibly entertaining. I just think it's going to really, really test again the seams of this country, and I do not want to lose running Donald Trump again.
I understand. Yeah, I understand that and agree with that. And I've heard people say that they're a one-issue voter in this primary. Who's going to win? And that's all that matters. And I completely understand.
And the difficult thing is, what I need to see from Donald Trump is, how are you going to run in the general? What are you going to run on in the general? Are you going to make the case that Joe Biden whose campaign is going to be, I'm not Donald Trump, just like what won him the most votes in American electoral history against Donald Trump. Are you going to make the case that Donald Trump, your best asset is that you're not Joe Biden? You need to make sure you connect the issues that Americans are facing. It's very difficult to look around life right now and think about how any corners of your existence are greatly improved since Joe Biden became the president of the United States. It's just not the case. And, you can't spend forever talking about how, well, COVID really put us behind the 8 ball. Yeah, you need a guy in there or a woman in there who is going to be able to get you away from the 8 ball, who's going to be able to put you in a position to succeed. And what you get from this administration, which is a priority for people who vote for Joe Biden. So it's not to say that this is a failure by the Biden administration as far as the context of what the Biden administration has promised and what they're trying to accomplish. They don't care about your ability to afford basic things in this country more than they care about their green energy, climate change principles. That supersedes your ability to get through the month, pay your bills, and God forbid, have an extra dollar laying around to set aside for a rainy day. They don't worry about those things. They worry about their pet projects. And if you are somebody who is, super committed to the climate change cause, yes, everybody gets to have their own thing. I'm not judging you for that. But when you are assessing government involvement in these types of policies, the dramatic effect it has on jobs, on energy prices, on the availability of freedom to choose how you want to live your life. I mean, air conditioners and heaters and dishwashers and gas stoves and so on and so forth. I mean, I remember Donald Trump, I think it was in his first election, was talking about taking showers and the low flow water shower, the showers that don't put out the water you need to take a good shower. And he was at a rally and he was he goes into skit Trump.
Yeah.
And he's standing there and he's talking about, well, I'm just going to take a shower that's 3 times as long because I can't get because he's not getting clean. And then he would do his he'd use his Melania voice and be like, honey, I'd like to watch the television. And he'd say, dear, we can't because the wind is not blowing. He gets it. That's not you. It's not a dichotomy where you are either for clean energy or completely against clean energy. You have to be practical. And when the man in the State of the Union address says we should be done with fossil fuels in about 10 years, stop it. That's senile.
Well, it sounds nice, but then when you see that in action, as people have now for 2.5 years, and you're just used to paying $3-4 a gallon, hopefully people aren't just getting numb to these things because it doesn't have to be this way.
The thing about it that drives me crazy is you've got one side screaming, we've got to do this right now. And the other side saying, guys, the tech isn't ready yet. We're working on it, but it's not ready yet. So it's not one side saying, let's do this right now. And the other side saying, let's never do this. They're saying, let's let this develop so that we can implement it with the least amount of pain for everybody. And it's just, there's no reasonableness, no debate about it. It's all this or it's catastrophic and the world's going to come to an end.
Ron DeSantis is a great candidate. And if Donald Trump if Donald Trump had won in 2020 and he was termed out, everybody would love Ron DeSantis on the right.
That's a fact.
And Trump would be all over how awesome Ron DeSantis is. Why? Because he would say he made him.
Yeah, he's cutting from my cloth.
Yes.
That's what he would be doing.
We need your vote. Go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel and vote in the live chat. Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, or somebody else. We would love to know where your vote. Oh, there's Florida again. I'm surprised. Well, it's Missouri. I was going to say, I'm surprised they even let us play that here. I'm not allowed to listen to this song in Illinois. The song right now, for all of our Illinois listeners, they're like, just me talking. They can't even hear it.
No, yeah.
They're hearing Bad Moon Rising or something.
Yeah, exactly. No joke. I'm really excited about our next guest, Bryce and Jill Morrison. These are the owners of Mom Water. Ryan, you're staying for this.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we have a wonderful relationship with Mom Water in This studio in my life, I love sharing Mom Waters with my friends at home. And the owners, the story is such a cool story. So relatable. Bryce and Jill Morrison with us when we come back. Don't go away.
It's all right. Whoa, it's all right.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Wake up early in the morning, feeling sad like so many of us do. Hug a little soul, make life your goal. And surely something's gotta come to you, and you gotta say it's all right. They say it's all right. Say it's all right. Have a good time, 'cause it's all right.
So let's talk about Water Sweet Soap Company online at watersweetssoap.com. Type in Annie when you go to Water Sweets. That's SWEETS, watersweetssoap.com. Type in Annie and save 10% on your order. Mother's Day is here, and you are looking for something that's going to make her happy. And let's be honest, something that's practical, maybe, that she's going to be able to use and something she's going to be able to love. Water Sweet Soap Company in Edwardsville and in O'Fallon has that product for you. I am in love with the Sugar Scrub. I use the Energy scent, but they have multiple scents that are fantastic. I also use their, I'm grabbing it right now, their hydrating skin therapy lotion. It is so great, so fantastic, easy to carry in a purse. And they have amazing soaps, bath bombs, shower bombs. Here's the deal. Walk into Water Sweets Soap Company in Edwardsville or O'Fallon, and if you're not sure what to get, I have things that I use myself that your mom is going to love, that your significant other is going to love, and just say, Annie told me to come here. I want to spend $30. I want to spend $50, and they're going to put together a box for you. They're going to help walk you through the whole thing. You don't even have to do any thinking, and she's going to love it. It's a win-win-win. Mention the Annie Frey Show when you go in-store to get a free gift. Type in Annie online to get 10% off. Go to watersweetssoap.com.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they were very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
No pain, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
I had a suspicion it was this way, but this weekend we did a hard 72 hours where we were walking 30,000 steps a day, going at it like vacation pros. If I had not had my sleep apnea mouth guard, I couldn't have done it. A couple years ago, I would not have been able to do this because we were sleeping in naps and short intervals here and there just to kind of make it work. Everybody else was able to. I needed that sleep. I needed it bad. And if I didn't get quality sleep, it wasn't going to work. If you are not getting quality sleep yourself, go see Dr. Ty Parker at Fountains Family Dentistry. Because if you're tired during the day and you're not doing 30,000 steps a day, then you know that you may have a problem at night that you're not getting the oxygen you need because your jaw is just getting too relaxed. All this thing does, no medicine required. It just holds your jaw out just a little bit in a way that is completely comfortable. You sleep fine. And not only do you sleep fine, you sleep deep. You get that REM sleep. You get that oxygen to your brain that you need to get you through every day. So see my friend, Dr. Ty Parker at Fountains Family Dentistry. Easy to get into him. Just give him a call or go online at fountainsfamilydentistry.com.
The Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Don't suffer from spring allergies when Air Comfort Service has solutions to remove up to 99% of allergens. Improve your indoor air quality and get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
You could be watching this right now. Tune into the Annie Frey Show live stream. YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Twitter. You know what? Just type in Annie Frey Show live stream.
If you're a business owner, are you feeling the pressures of running your business? There's a limit to what you can do and still keep employees engaged. Insperity brings 30-plus years of HR experience to help you with hiring, training, HR administration, and compliance while giving your employees competitive benefit options. You're able to focus on other priorities. Your employees can thrive and your business can grow. With Insperity, nothing seems impossible. Full-service HR, employee benefits, HR technology. Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
Give Mom what she's begged for all these years, a clean home. Mom deserves nothing but the best. Call our friends at Zero Res. Schedule today and get 3 rooms of carpet clean for just $129. Take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Make sure to mention me, Mark Reardon. ZeroResSTL.com or call 314-474-2020.
Tony La Russa here. Men, are you running out of stamina rounding third base? If so, call my friends at Victory Men's Health in O'Fallon, Illinois. Scoring at home is important, just as important as crossing the plate with the winning run. VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Haven't changed, had much to say.
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
They were asking if you were around.
Well, this week on Fox Business, we are spotlighting small businesses who are finding success in this challenging economy. Our very own Lauren Simonetti uncovered a husband and wife duo looking to make their mark in the canned cocktail industry. Big business.
Jill and Bryce Morrison, Cheryl, had jobs in healthcare, but quit them in January of 2020 to build a booze company in Indiana.
I love the way she says booze company right there. Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. I am so honored to have in studio with us right now the owners of Mom Water, Bryce and Jill Morrison. Jill, it's great to have you here. Are you Mom?
I am. I'm the OG.
You're the OG. Now, is there a Jill?
No. I'm quite a shy person. I refuse to let him put my name on the can.
Okay, so you said him, Bryce.
Yes.
If there was a Jill, it would be the sweetest one of the bunch, right?
Oh. So technically Julie is Jill because that's her alter ego.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. Fantastic.
She wouldn't let me put Jill on a can, so we put Julie.
That's fantastic. I have the cans right here. This Julie is a passion fruit. Mom Water, and I've told this story many times before, but it's a great American story. You guys are from Indiana, so I said when they walked in, I'm like, so Midwest, you understand Midwesterners for sure. You went on vacation, right? This all started with a vacation, Jill.
Yes.
Tell me how Mom Water was born.
I was tired of all the sugary, fruity drinks at the resort.
Yeah.
Wanted something different. Found this fruit-infused water sitting on the bar and said, "What is this?" And he said, "It's passion fruit." I said, "Well, can you just put some vodka in this for me?" And that's what I drank the rest of the week. Loved it. It was very light. Came back to the States.
She talked about the water like all week long. So it was this. I don't think we'd ever had passion fruit before. And so didn't know what the fruit was. She asked them. They said it's passion fruit. She just kept commenting every morning as we're hydrating from the previous night. And she would always just say, "This water is amazing." And so that's kind of what led her to walk up to the bar and just say, "I just want to keep drinking this water. So can you just put some vodka in it?"
I have Mom Water at home, and so I live on the Illinois side of the river. Starting this year, you started, I think, being in Illinois, at least in our area of Illinois, a lot more. Because when I started advertising for you guys on 97.1, I started talking about it, and everywhere I would go in Illinois, like going to the basketball games, the volleyball games for my kids, all the moms, "Where's the Mom Water?" So I was like, every time you're in Missouri, you need to go get a case of it. They were so excited to have it on the Illinois side of the river now as well. And so I have it at my house. And when I have friends over, I'm like, "You have to try this." And everybody cracks open the can and they take a sip and they go, "Oh, this is trouble." I mean, like that could be the slogan in my experience because it is so good. It has flavor, but it's not you don't feel like you're drinking syrup. And on vacation, I mean,
goes down real easy.
Oh, and it's refreshing.
Yeah.
It is. That's what there's not a lot of, I don't think you would call a lot of alcoholic drinks thirst quenching.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what we were trying to go for is, again, we're trying to recreate spa water. That's the whole concept.
Yeah.
And yeah, on a hot day, something that is a little bit more refreshing.
What was it you said you were trying to recreate?
Like spa water,
Spa
so
water.
like the fancy hotel
Well,
water.
that's exactly what I was thinking
Yeah.
because when I had it, so I was here. I'm going to say this. They're just going to make fun of me. It's okay.
We're going to do that anyway.
In the middle 2010, so 2015, 16, I was traveling to New York City for the first time ever for a shoot for a TV show that I was doing.
Oh, Lord.
I know.
He wants you to know that he was in the industry.
I
is
want
how
you guys
we
to know.
refer to it here.
This is really, really cool. I mean, just for a brief period, whatever. But I was in New York City. It was the first time I'd ever been there. We were on Times Square and all this stuff. And we would go into these places and they would have in the lobbies, especially of hotels, this water that was just free to whoever wanted to, have a drink who was staying there. And it had usually fruit in it, sometimes cucumbers. And it was the first time I'd ever seen that. And I got to really drinking this because it tasted just a little better than just drinking water. And when you guys started being part of the show, I'm like, oh, this is exactly that. Like, this is the Midwest version with some alcohol in it of that cool thing that's happening apparently in the industry right now. Not my industry.
With vodka.
That industry.
So the box here says fruit-infused vodka water, and you said that Jill, that your alter ego here is Julie. So you have this great product in mind, but what you guys did right was you learned how to tell people about it. You decided to name these drinks after women. So I think you know your audience very well, but you've got a Karen, and it's the lemon blueberry. What gave you, where were you? How did it come about? I got this idea.
So I think that was more my idea. Like when we were talking about it, I'm way left brain. And so creativity and things like that, that's kind of my jam. So we were talking about it and I'm like, all right, well, if we're going to do this, because Jill was the one that was trying to talk us into it. And I just kind of kept saying, there's no way. Like, we have no idea. We don't have the resources. We don't have the know-how.
Yeah,
But
like the clip said, you guys were in healthcare.
Yeah.
You're not beverage makers or marketing.
We didn't know what the 3-tier system was 3 years ago. And that's no exaggeration at all. So when we started going through this and we kind of had this idea and we had this mom water, was the name because that's what Jill was writing mom on all of her water bottles around the pool. So it's well, we got a name.
Don't want the kids to drink the other
Exactly.
water bottles.
We have the product, we have the name. And so then it just kind of the wheels started turning in my head. I was like, well, this should be a celebration of moms. And what would be cooler than to have our flavors really be more personalities? I mean, that was kind of what we, I guess, had envisioned. We started talking about it. And even then we were like, well, will this work or will it not? Is it going to be cheesy? Is it going to work? And thankfully we made the decision because it's one of the most fun parts of the product is no one says the lemon blueberry.
When you drink mom water, if you're the person who pulls it out of your 6-pack on the float trip or in the baseball game that your kids are at, if you are the person who's drinking it and you're drinking a Sandy, which is coconut mango, which I totally get it, and it becomes part of the conversation. It's not just about how great the drink is, it's how cool the drink is. We got a wrap right now, but I just want to thank you for letting us talk to you and for bringing this product. The pack here that you can get that's got 4 different kinds in it, it's called the Mom Squad, and it's 90 calories per can. What a great American story, you guys.
Thank you very much.
Come see us this week. We'll be at Dierberg's, Schnucks, and Total Wine.
Awesome. All right. Well, we will absolutely do that. I love mom water. I drink it myself. And if you are looking for something that's refreshing, that's low calorie, that's not, for me, if I drink sugary alcohol, I will definitely get a headache. I don't get a headache when I drink one of these, and highly recommend it. We've got Bryce and Jill in with mom water. We're grateful to have you here and look forward to your success here in the future.
Thank you, Annie.
Thank you so much. We'll be back with Jim Carafano on the Annie Frey Show when we return.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
You know that chick that used to dance
approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Mother's Day is around the corner. I was talking to you about water sweets before, but there's another opportunity for you to really wow mom this Mother's Day. Maybe it's grandma, maybe it's your daughter who is having her first Mother's Day. Go to the Diamond Shop. These wonderfully beautiful things that they have available for you. Walk in and the whole room sparkles. Heck, you walk in the Diamond Shop, you sparkle. You can talk to them about your budget right off the bat and say, I'm looking for a gift for a mom, looking to spend $75, looking to spend $50, looking to spend $300, whatever it is. And they're going to direct you to some options that are going to fit your budget. If you're looking to shop for something bigger than Mother's Day, maybe an engagement ring down the line or a big anniversary ring, you go to the Diamond Shop. They're going to walk you through that as well. 6 months, same as cash for you. When you go there, they're going to take care of you from start to finish. And then you're going to say, the next time I go to buy jewelry, of course, I'm going back to the Diamond Shop. Reach out to them on their website and become a VIP. Get exclusive special discounts and merchandise. You can find them at thediamondshop.net.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The president's message hasn't changed. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. He still wants the debt limit raised with no strings attached, heading into a meeting with the top congressional leaders, including House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, 2 hours from now.
The White House has been referring to the House Republican bill that would raise the debt limit and cut spending as the Default on America Act. Even though this bill does not get into any of the appropriations details, the White House has been really pushing fear messaging, saying that it would result in cuts to agencies like the FBI, Border Patrol, DEA, even veterans benefits, even though Republicans did take that issue off the table.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House.
There's some rumblings that the White House may ask McCarthy to do a temporary debt ceiling increase and punt the discussion about the budget to the fall. McCarthy just told reporters that's a non-starter. They don't want to kick this issue down the road.
And White House spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre just telling reporters a short-term extension is not their plan either. McCarthy has said a so-called clean debt limit bill doesn't have the votes to pass. There's also a clock ticking at the southern border, where COVID-related restrictions on asylum seekers will end on Thursday. The White House says it has a robust multi-agency plan in place to handle the border humanely.
We're using the tools that are available to us because Congress refuses to do their job as it relates to the border. Again, a system that has been broken for decades.
Spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre says they're focusing on enforcement, deterrence, and diplomacy. Republicans say the president's policies have caused an ongoing migrant surge. A jury in New York is deliberating the civil sexual assault and defamation case against former President Trump, who accuses writer E. Jean Carroll of lying. She accuses him of rape in a department store dressing room in the 1990s. America is listening to Fox News.
Finding great people to hire is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's pretty difficult, right? Well, ZipRecruiter has mastered finding a needle in a haystack, so they take it to the next level. They make hiring so simple that it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. And that's why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Here's what it's like to use ZipRecruiter. They have so many qualified candidates that it's easier to find the right ones for your roles. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's a lot of needles. So how do they do it? ZipRecruiter's powerful technology sends you candidates who are a great match for your job, and you can even invite your top choices to apply. So if you want less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It's a good-looking Tuesday afternoon. Weather-wise, partly to mostly sunny skies. Just call it nice, about where we should be, 79, 80. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, a drop through the 70s this evening, 55 for the low. Wednesday, partly sunny, breezy, maybe an isolated thunderstorm, but really tough to find. Think dry Wednesday, 82. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months, and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing in me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new plan. Nothing is everything.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clearer skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
So I'm wearing my Prevent Sprain socks right now because we just walked, I think we figured we walked about 80,000 steps in the last 3 days. 80,000 steps. I looked it up. 30,000 steps because we did 2 days of 30. That's 15 miles. And my feet needed a little extra attention when I came home. I put my Prevent Sprain socks on and slept in them, and I'm wearing a different pair today. And I can already tell an incredible difference in the way my feet feel, the way my ankles feel after all of that walking. Go to PreventSprainSocks.com. You'll be able to see there that they have golf socks available as well. Who can benefit from Prevent Sprain socks? Well, anyone with feet, obviously, but athletes, diabetics, chronic ankle instability, if you've got weak ankles, if you want to be active, if you want to be able to stay active, if you want to be able to have confidence that your ankles are going to have the compression around that they need to stay supported, Prevent Sprain socks are there for you. I adore my Prevent Sprain socks. I have my kids wearing them when they play sports, and I think you'll love them as well. Go online to PreventSprainSocks.com.
Man, what a great party you're throwing here. This wasp nest is great.
Yeah, man, we got about 70 wasps in here.
Too bad we can't fit any more wasps in here. It looks like they're having fun outside, stinging all the kids. Oh, man, who just pulled up?
Oh, no, it's the pest control company again with those green wheels. They seem to kill every one of my parties.
This is Derek, the owner of All Solutions Pest Control. Give us a call today at 636-486-7888. Learn more about our special $67 offer. You can visit us online at allsolutionspestcontrol.com.
If a pest-free home is your goal, call All Solutions Pest Control.
If you're as thankful to your first responders as we are, then nominate a local department and let us feed them a great meal. Compliments of Grill Master Tony Stone. Mark Cox here. Visit 971talk.com/contests. Help us feed our first responders. You can nominate someone today.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
According to the Biden administration itself, they anticipate about 13,000 people coming across the border illegally every single day. If you extend that out over the course of a year, it means there will be about 4,700,000 people coming across the border a year. That will mean that there will be more people coming across the border illegally than there are residents of the massive city of Chicago.
Jim Carafano,
These are dangerous times.
Vice President for Foreign and Security Policy at Heritage.
4.7 million people, that's all? My goodness. Jim Carafano, welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Title 42's got, 48 hours left, and I guess it's the last string of any type of border security that this country wants to enforce. Can't wait to hear your reactions to it.
No, I mean, I think this could actually be it. I mean, this could be the one moment in which people just literally throw up their hands and say, you can't do this. I mean, this is just beyond the pale. I mean, literally hundreds of thousands of people going across the border, and there's no bottom to this pit, right? I mean, the entire world's human trafficking networks are reorienting to come to the United States. There is no end to this. There will be billions of people. I'm not making this up. If we just let this thing run its natural course, billions of people will walk in the United States. And last time you checked, we had a population about 330 million people. So that population, if we just let Biden do what Biden is doing, and we just do that to its natural conclusion, that will be about 20% of the population of the United States.
20%. My goodness. Jim Carafano with us right now. So once this cat's out of the bag, I mean, it's hard to imagine that the cat hasn't been out of the bag for some time. This is just the next, maybe final straw in the whole scenario. Is there anything that will be able to be done, say, in 2 years or in a year and a half when a new president could possibly be elected?
I absolutely believe it's reversible. I mean, first of all, Donald Trump demonstrated for 4 years you actually could control the border with the laws on the books. So that's one. The other thing is and we saw this during the Trump administration. People do self-deport. People do just leave because, they see the writing on the wall. So I do think it's reversible. And no matter what situation we're in, the absolute worst thing to say is, well, we just have to live with what we have, or we just have to let the people that we have here stay. And the problem with that is as soon as you say, well, we just have to let the ones here stay, that is the biggest calling card for the next wave. And you can throw up as much security as you want. If people think they can stay, they're going to come. If people think they're going to be sent home, they're not going to come. And the only thing that's going to convince people that they're going to be sent home is, guess what? If you send people home.
What does that look like? Because the migrants who are coming here are from all over the place. What is the actual process for finding these individuals and returning them to where they came from so that they can come through legally if they so choose?
Well, the biggest issue isn't really returning to their home country, because we've actually been pretty successful at convincing people to take their citizens back. It's going through the legal process of deporting them, and what the Biden administration does and what the legal system does is it intentionally strings that out to make it as difficult as possible. And the reality is if you have a lot of immigration judges, and if you push people through the system, and this is the most important thing, if you detain them, you can deport them. But the biggest problem is almost nobody shows up for voluntary deportation. So if you have somebody go through the whole system and then you say, okay, you have to be deported, show up for they don't show up, and you have to go chase them down, and we don't. So we're going to have to detain people, and we're going to have to put them through a process, and we're going to have to deport them. And the best place to do that is at the border. And the best actual way to keep people out is to do the return to Mexico. You wait in Mexico. If you have a claim to come to the United States, it's processed there. And the reason why that works is because when we did it under Trump, 99% of the people didn't qualify to come in, and they just left.
You want to hear a comment?
So bad.
I mean, people are.
It's like the difference between people who have no debt, because at the end of the month they pay off their credit card bill, and people that just crazy spend money on their credit card and they go bankrupt, and they can't understand why they have a problem. That's the difference.
If somebody were to say, because this is what the left says, we are a nation of immigrants. We all immigrated here from somewhere. Obviously, that's a very obtuse comment. But how do you actually communicate with people what the difference is between a nation that has been founded by people who have immigrated here, who sought the United States of America out, just in general, period, maybe came through Ellis Island or whatever, and what's taking place on the southern border? What's the difference?
Yeah. Well, people just look out your door. When you see the gangs in the neighborhood, when you see the impact on the local community, the impact on schools and hospitals, when you see the violence and crime on the border, and the exploitation of children and other people that cross the border. I mean, people aren't blind to this. They're not stupid. They don't need some very sophisticated explanation. What's the difference between a nation of immigrants and believing in human rights, everything else, and what's going on here? They can just look out their window and see it. And I think that's why this is not sustainable. Yeah, look, we have a president who's at 36% in the polls, who's losing to the guy that they say is completely, and I don't do politics, but I'm just reading poll numbers. The guy that is completely unelectable and is indicted for a crime is beating the pants off the president of the poll. The president's approval numbers are at 36%. Everything is going wrong for them. And their answer is, let's not talk about the border because that obviously solves that problem. And instead, we're going to talk about gas stoves and, getting people reimbursed if their airplane lands late. This can't work. I've seen crazy things in American politics, but the notion, and then who knows what's going to happen on Wednesday when they release whatever they're going to release about the president's business affairs. I don't see how they sustain this.
I don't think that, and I would love your thoughts on this. The idea of the border being an issue that is facing the administration, that is facing the country, I would assume that the border is absolutely intertwined with every other foreign policy and global relationship that we have.
I think it is. I think that's why, for example, as is energy, which is, I think, the reason why in Congress H.R. 1 was energy, H.R. 2 is immigration, because these are really global issues. And they both touch on national security, and they touch on our prosperity, and they touch on our sovereignty, and they touch on our communities, and they have everything to do with foreign policy. Here we are waking up to the fact that China is a global threat, and every day Chinese people walk in the United States, no clearance, no nothing, and they just get paroled in the United States to do whatever. How's that going to work?
So the intersection of policy on immigration, people coming to our country right now, versus the people who are here already, and there are those who would advocate for complete citizenship and complete amnesty, and then there are others who would advocate for find them, send them back home. There's a way to come in this country, and they didn't do that. How do you reconcile?
I'm simple. Look, I understand. Well, it's somehow, it's like, okay. The way you basically explain that is somebody robbed a bank, and if they got away with it, we should just let them keep the money. And then nobody will ever rob a bank again, right? It won't work. You can't just say, okay, we're just going to give everybody a clean slate, give an amnesty, and then we'll go back and secure the border. Because while you're trying to secure the border, you'll be overwhelmed by people coming here. I've been tracking the data recently, but Spain at one time had 5 consecutive amnesties in a row. And every time they had an amnesty, they had more illegal immigration than when they started. It just won't work. But this is, look, I understand the left. That's their shtick. They want to be compassionate and empathetic. I get that. I want to be compassionate and empathetic. It sounds good. How can we throw these poor people out? They worked all the way across, Latin America to get. The reality is, well, dude, if you don't throw them out of the country, you're going to destroy your life and your family and your community. So you decide.
Well, and even in that, I love how you said that, because it's their shtick. That's what the left is trying to do, is to be the ones who have their hearts in their sleeves, who care about their fellow man. How compassionate is the policy right now on our southern border coming from the left?
It's actually completely inhumane. We have the biggest human rights catastrophe at the border that we've ever had. And it's all because of Joe Biden. And so the irony, of course, is here the most humane world is where there is not illegal immigration. Because where there is illegal immigration, you're putting people at risk. So it's the worst condition to have. And so stopping it is the most humane thing to do. And this is my great frustration. If Biden wanted more people to immigrate here, should have just opened up the legal immigration routes. Could have done that.
Does legal immigration need reform?
We want more legal immigrants. He goes, no, we're going to destroy the immigration system and our border and our sovereignty. there's something more than just, we think these people should just get to come here. Because if they wanted to just let them come here, they could have just done that.
Right.
That's not what they did. They're burning down the house. It should be a great song.
You should write that one. I'd love to hear you perform it. Jim Carafano with us right now. He's the Vice President for Foreign and Security Policy at the Heritage Foundation. Title 42 is going away in 2 days. I think we've talked about this many times, but explain to me the significance of Title 42. Like, why is it in place in the first place, and why would it now all of a sudden go away?
Well, we have a great debate on this. Some people think that this is holding back the tide, and others. I'm actually in the camp that think, look, we could secure the border without Title 42 by just reinstituting the Remain in Mexico problem. You can invoke Title 42 for lots of things, not just for COVID. We're getting different kinds of diseases coming across the border. So the government doesn't lack the authority to secure the border. And honestly, for people who say, well, Title 42 is the only thing that's saving us, we had several million people come to the country illegally under Joe Biden when Title 42 was in place. So I think we're all looking for magic bullets at the border, but I think the reality is just like I gave you the credit card example, like people that pay their bills aren't in debt. People that secure their borders have secure borders.
Amen to that. Jim, we appreciate you next week. If we are able to talk again next week, it'll be interesting to see what happens in this next 48 hours and if what is predicted to be true in the video that we see of seas of people heading this way, how quickly that makes a difference and how people view this issue.
Yeah, it's interesting because, we've got this and the raising the debt limit negotiations and the potential information about the president's business dealings all kind of descending at the same time. So it is going to be an interesting next couple of days. So buckle up.
Yeah, we will. And we always enjoy having you along for the ride. Jim Carafano, thank you. We'll speak to you again soon. Bye-bye. Vice President for Foreign and Security Policy at Heritage Foundation at JJ Carafano. I appreciate his take, and it cannot be lost in the conversation when you're talking to somebody about border issues. I think it's a lot more bipartisan, the view on what's taking place on the southern border than most people would have you believe. But it is not compassionate to permit these people entrance to our country and then to see what inevitably follows next for them. I think it's like 75,000 children? Am I getting that number right? I will look that number up on the break. Harris Faulkner talks about it all the time. But we have children who come here, and then what happens to them next? I think last week we talked to Jim Carafano about these children. What in the world are we doing? Why are we doing this? Why are we allowing politicians to use this as the ping pong ball to make themselves look good for an election, and then in between the elections, it gets worse and worse? Something has to give, and hopefully it's not our country. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get the crew back in here in the studio, talk about a few of the other issues that are facing us. He mentioned the debt ceiling and also this information surrounding the Biden family. Wednesday is going to be a big day. There's that information and also a CNN town hall with who? One of the candidates in today's YouTube live chat poll, Donald Trump. You can go vote by telling us who your choice for president is in 2024. Is it Biden, Trump, DeSantis, or someone else? We'll be back in a minute. Don't go away.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
FoleyDentalGroup.com, 618-288-9670. If you were looking to make an appointment for a routine checkup, Foley Dental Group is the place to call, 618-288-9670. Maybe it's not just, okay, yeah, fine, I'll go to the dentist. Maybe it's something a little bit more involved than that. If you have missing teeth, if you don't like the solution maybe that has been done for your missing teeth before, if you're looking for implants or even dentures, maybe you have a loved one who might need implants or dentures, FoleyDentalGroup.com. They have dedicated, experienced doctors focusing entirely on the best way to replace missing teeth, to give you a natural smile that makes you feel comfortable and confident. Dr. Amran and Dr. Hanser dedicate their practice at Foley Dental Group to restoring smiles and chewing ability for those who have lost teeth prematurely. It's not just always about how it looks, but that is very important. It's also the functionality of how those teeth are replaced. Foley Dental Group is the top-notch place to go to have this taken care of. Please reach out to him. This is the dentist of the Frey family members, 618-288-9670. That's 618-288-9670. Online at FoleyDentalGroup.com.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
Over 90,000 satisfied customers since 1929. Frederick Roofing, 314-645-2000.
Did you know the IRS is a super creditor? Hi, I'm Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. The IRS is the only creditor that can create a bill for you without your permission, then drop the hammer and aggressively collect it by wiping out your bank account, seizing your assets, and levying your wages. No other creditor can do that, and this can all happen without a court approval. If you owe back taxes, you need to be prepared to face the super creditor. Don't just sit back and take it. Fight back. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, we know how to use the laws to your advantage and go toe-to-toe with the IRS. Our office is located right here in St. Louis. Contact the Lance Drury Law Firm today for a free consultation with me, or visit us at lancedrurylaw.com or call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120 to get started.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
St. Louis physician Dr. Abicki created Neovitin 15 years ago to help support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Since then, Neovitin has helped thousands of people support their daily nutrition with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Abicki's proprietary blend. If you're ready to join many St. Louisans in supporting their nutrition, give Neovitin a try. You can find Neovitin at your local Schnucks, Dierbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
Hey, it's Annie. Get your conceal and carry with the certified experts at STS Armory. From beginners and ladies only to pepper spray, STS Armory has a class for you. Call 618-931-GUNS or stop by in Pontoon Beach at the corner of Highway 111 and South Drive.
An update from the Illinois Family Institute, IllinoisFamily.org. The National Day of Prayer has come and gone, but there's more to pray about in Illinois, and state lawmakers especially need prayer.
Scripture tells us that we should be praying for these people.
Lawmakers want to shut down pregnancy care centers. There's a push for mandatory co-ed bathrooms, and male and female pronouns in state laws could soon be replaced with genderless terms. IFI's David Smith.
Many of these people have anti-family agendas that would actually harm our children, our family, our schools, our communities. Even if we don't agree with them, we must be praying for them because God can turn hearts and minds towards himself.
Pray for our elected leaders and sign up for IFI email alerts at IllinoisFamily.org.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Save up to $7,500 on a new hybrid HVAC system and save an additional 20% when bundled with attic insulation. This is a limited time offer. For details and a free estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Mark Reardon Show.
More demand for criminal charges in the subway death in New York of Jordan Neely. Fox News legal analyst Phil Holloway joins us Tuesday afternoon.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Some nights I stay up, cashing in my bad luck. Some nights I call it a draw. Some nights I wish that my lips could build a castle. Some nights I wish they just fall off. But I still wake up, I still see your gospel. Lord, I'm still not sure what I stand for.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
What do I stand for?
Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
Trump, you gotta be on the page that he's worse than Joe Biden and very different than Joe Biden. Come on, Doc.
Look, it's not politics that determine the outcome of society. It's culture. I don't care about politics. You go back to the beginning, and Democrat and Republicans have been in control about 50-50. They've had control of the House and Senate while they were in control of the presidency about 50-50. They've had it not in control 50-50. And look where we are. They both come up about the same place. I don't care about that. I care about our culture.
Okay, I'm disappointed that I can't get you to just out and out say that Trump is a completely different animal than the politics on the left and the right that we both agree is very lacking on both sides.
Real question. If you listen to, two great political minds, Bill Maher and Dr. Phil, having a discussion on a podcast. Their opinion's just as valuable as anybody else's. If you listen to what Bill Maher is saying, he wants Dr. Phil to admit, how did he put that there? That he's basically Trump is...
Okay, I'm disappointed that I can't get you to just out and out say that Trump is a completely different animal than the politics on the left and the right that we both agree is very lacking on both sides.
I don't really understand 100% what he's trying. I feel like he's trying to say something, but it's so shallow that he can't just say what he's saying.
Yeah, the phrase, I can't get you to say something, is usually not how you do an interview.
Well, it's not, but it's so obvious that you're supposed to talk a certain way about Joe Biden, or excuse me, about Donald Trump. If it's a public statement about Donald Trump, it's like my favorite. It's my favorite thing to think about going to a party if you don't know people and going up to people and going, Donald Trump, am I right?
I love it.
Because everybody immediately would be like, "Oh, totally," but you don't know if they love him or hate him.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
You could. It's an icebreaker for any conversation you're ever going to be in. You do, if you want someone to like you, you just go up and say that. Am I right? And then whatever they say, you agree with, and you'll be best friends. Because it's the only thing. Like everything else you talk about, especially the closer we get to this election, or maybe the closer you got to the last one. Everything eventually, every ounce of relationship you've ever built with anybody can be fortified or destroyed like that based on that question.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's really amazing that even still he's that much of a lightning rod that he can affect relationships and create relationships if you just walk up to somebody at a party.
If you saw somebody who was if let's say you had a coworker who was going to lend you something out of the garage, whatever. You're going camping, they got an extra tent, you're going to go there. You pull into their driveway. You don't know anything about this coworker, you don't know him very well, but you're borrowing this tent. They open their garage, and in their garage, they have a Trump 2024 flag hanging discreetly in their garage, not in the front of their house. If you're somebody who voted for Donald Trump or who detests this current situation that we're in and votes Republican, when you see that, don't you feel like you all of a sudden immediately know a huge amount more about that person?
Yes. Yes.
Weird. Like if you saw a Cubs flag hanging in their garage, you'd be like, "Oh, they're a Cubs fan." Moving on.
Yep.
It doesn't mean anything. I can't think of much more of an impactful symbol that you can associate with yourself.
And most political signs or flags that would be in somebody's house or garage or even in their yard would say a lot about that person. But there is more about Donald Trump because he's such a cultural phenomenon beyond just a politician.
You could have a Black Lives Matter flag hanging in your garage. That could say something. You could have a Blue Lives Matter or a thin blue line. I mean, these are things that would, if it's not so much to say that, because this is what the left wants you to believe, is that if you don't display those things, then you are the antithesis of what those things stand for. You have to tell people every opportunity you get.
Yes, and you know why that's so important to see, whether it's there or not, but if you see a flag or a sign in somebody's garage, like in the situation you had presented there, the reason that is such a big deal is because of what Bill Maher was just trying to do there.
That's the point. If Bill Maher says to Dr. Phil, like, why won't you say it? Why won't you say it, man? Everybody's saying it. It's the obvious thing to do is to trash Donald Trump right now. And I mean, we try to walk a fine line on this show being realistic. Again, is the glass half full or half empty? It is 50% full person. Take that however you choose, but that's what it is. It's a very, very fine line to walk to be able to say, I think Donald Trump's going to have a very hard time winning the presidency. That is a completely separate statement about whether I would enjoy watching Donald Trump win the presidency. But Brad, people don't want people. You either have to fly your Trump. I mean, if you look at from where the Trump influencers are coming from, you got to be on point with pro-Trump stuff all the time, or you're against him. And if you've ever even been like, I kind of think Donald Trump would do a better job than Biden, then you are, as we hear from the president and his administration over and over and over again, ultra MAGA. Is that what they call him?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's an example of the kind of binary thinking that we're stuck into as a society. You're either all for something or you're all against something. And it doesn't matter what that is and what your past has shown or what your mind has said and what your thoughts are on the situation. So like Annie said, you go up there and you're like, I like Trump's policies. I like this. I like that. I don't think other people out there like him enough to vote for him, and therefore I'm going to support this person who's like him, but I think more people will support him that would get him across the line. And then people are like, you're an anti-Trump or you're a never-Trumper, and
it's funny how this is the only thing that the left is super binary about.
Yeah.
It's probably that there are a lot more people like that than we think there are, but those conversations never take place. Because if they step out in the open and try to have them in a way that's just having a beer or with a coworker or something like that, like, yeah, it's just where I'm coming from, you are painted in a certain way or shouted down, and the conversation doesn't happen.
Well, if it's like that, though, if there's a lot more people out there, what you're suggesting is that there's a silent majority out there of people that are more like, I don't know, rationally thinking about these situations. And what we actually have is a very vocal, loud, angry minority on each side of that is dominating the conversation. I don't know that anymore. I used to think that way about the silent majority, but I'm not convinced that it's there anymore. Because at some point the silent majority has to cease being silent and start being vocal and be like, all right.
Or show up as a freaking majority in an election.
Yeah, and be like, all right, we're done.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because in 2020, as Trump often likes to say, I got more votes than any incumbent president in American history. So people did show up. Mm-hmm. It's just the other side
showed up a lot too.
Showed up more.
I don't know if we'll have any friends left by the time the primary is over here.
Yeah.
Because if I like Ron DeSantis, because I like Ron DeSantis, my affinity for Ron DeSantis as governor of Florida is historically verifiable on this show. Long before Donald Trump announced he was running for president, and long before I would have not predicted that Ron DeSantis would have been, public enemy number one for the Trump folks. I look back on that and go, well, I guess that makes a lot of sense. And the idea that the attacks, we've been out of the loop for the last 3 days, but I haven't seen Trump attacking DeSantis directly as much, maybe in the last week or two.
No, I haven't either. Not nearly as much. But I've heard people say that even in the last couple of weeks, they haven't really heard say a whole lot about Biden or anybody.
Oh my gosh. Did you pull the sound from that deposition?
I didn't.
Can you send that to Hannah?
Yeah, I'll have her
and see if Hannah can. This is the funniest thing. Did you hear that sound?
No, I didn't.
I can't wait for you to listen to this. Because when it comes to hearing from Donald Trump, we're hearing a lot of things about his court cases.
Maybe that's why we're not hearing as much from him.
And I think that's probably why. Because I'm thinking, I hear the DeSanctus and the DeSanctimonious stuff from time to time. There is a huge effort by somebody in the Trump circle to make sure that the people who are in the social media circles know that it is time to be on record for your love and support of Donald Trump. And it's super annoying.
Oh, yeah.
Because I mean, the more that anybody presents to me that my support or my affinity or my loyalty is being questioned, I'm asking, what am I being loyal to? And, I made that joke about, the binary efforts of the left's political machine to make sure that the left, the binary for the left is, do you want Trump or not? That's it. That is the only question. That's how Joe Biden won the election last time. It's how he could win the election this time. I'm going to steal one of these comments that maybe Hannah was going to read later as you guys are voting in this YouTube live chat poll. Who is your choice for president in 2024? Biden, Trump, DeSantis, or someone else? Edward said, imagine losing to Joe Biden and then nominating the only person in the world who can still lose to Joe Biden. And I think Edward is not a Republican voter, I'm assuming. I don't know if he is or not, but that's not wrong. Edward's point is a point worth making. And if we are in a position on the right where we're afraid to vocalize what is obviously in front of us, which is Donald Trump probably has the most difficult path to victory, that doesn't mean that he can't achieve victory. That doesn't mean at all, Ryan, that he hasn't been royally screwed in every minute that he's been pursuing and in political office. That the drama and the baggage that goes along with Donald Trump, in some cases it is, but in the majority of cases it is not deserved. It is not his fault.
Yeah, and based just on past votes, you'd have to agree with what Edward said there, and I think we've even said before that you could flip the statement, though. You could say, imagine running Joe Biden against the only guy who could maybe lose to Donald
Trump.
Vice versa, yeah. Because the same is true, and this is going to be if it is this, it's going to be so weird to have the same exact candidates as we did 4 years ago. I really don't know. Maybe there's been a time in American history, but certainly not modern American history, that you could ever compare that and say, here are literally the exact numbers that these guys had 4 years ago. What will change coming this year? Because it's always speculation, and it still will be.
Well, in 2020 also, there was a question as to whether Hillary was going to run again.
Yes.
And a lot of people had to wait for her to say, I'm not doing it this time, for everything else to happen. And every time we would talk, and still probably will talk on this show about, is Joe Biden going to be the nominee? I know that he's running. Is he still going to be there when it comes time? How is this all going to shake down? Donald Trump is probably the only candidate that Joe Biden can beat. And Joe Biden is probably the only candidate that Donald Trump can beat. How exhausting for everybody involved.
Doesn't it make you just a little bit want to just pop the popcorn? I mean, there's a show about to happen.
That's where we come in.
Yeah,
I mean, that's where I said, at the beginning of this segment here, from where I sit, this is going to be a wild white knuckle ride.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But do I care about that, or do I care about the country?
Right.
And if I look at Ron DeSantis, I see no problems. There's nothing about Ron DeSantis that seems problematic to me. And he's had many high-profile races where the things that the left thinks is problematic or his challengers think are problematic, that stuff's pretty much out there right now. Ron DeSantis for president.
Yeah, anything that's in his past.
Donald Trump for Florida governor. You heard it here first, folks. I have not heard anyone else say that yet.
Again, we gotta continue to see whether or not people think that's a good idea, because I would like to know.
Wiggins America, when we come back?
When we come back.
All right, don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
So let's talk about the Closet Factory. They're at my house right now installing an absolutely amazing, they have the bottom part done and they're working on the top. And they took an entire wall in what was built to be a formal dining room, but we're not really formal diners in our house in any stretch of the imagination. There's usually pasta that ends up on the floor. That's why we have a dog. One of the reasons. The formal dining room we're turning into a space where we have extra storage, but in a functional way, helps our kids have a place to put their after-school stuff, to do their homework where it's away from everything else, to sit and study, to store things. And it is so beautiful. I had the guidance of Candace, who came and looked at my space and saw what we were dealing with and said, this is what I'm thinking. I worked with her. She worked with me. And what we are going to have in our home is going to be a game changer for the way things come into our home when the kids get home from school. Whatever your problem is, whatever your solution that you're looking to find, it can be found with working with the Closet Factory. It's a local business, and they are a phone call away. 314-961-4300. 314-961-4300. Online at closetfactory.com.
Thinking of selling your house, but you don't want to deal with repairs, cleaning, realtors, photos, and showings? With Chris Buys Homes in StLouis.com, you don't have to do any repairs or pay any commissions. Call 314-782-8000 and Chris will give you a fair cash offer without any inspections, showings, or other headaches. That's 314-782-8000. At Chris Buys Homes in StLouis.com, you decide when you want to move, according to your schedule and your terms. Chris buys vacant houses, inherited houses, beautiful houses, fixer-uppers, in any condition, as is. Chris Buys Homes in StLouis.com provides you the easiest sell possible and will assist you in every step of the way. If you want to sell and have any questions, please call 314-782-8000. That's 314-782-8000 and get the offer you've been waiting for.
When you have Rhino Shield on your house, it does a couple of things for you. It beautifies the house and it protects it from the harshest elements. And boy, do we see those here in the greater St. Louis area. You get instant curb appeal. It will stick to anything. Rhino Shield is the answer, no matter whether you're painting a home or a church or a business or a condo, because it's 100% waterproof. It takes care of the outdoor maintenance on whatever is on the outside of your home. The brick, the block, aluminum, steel, stucco. They can put this on with the 2 to 3 coat process. They're there about a week, and they do a great job. A lot of businesses have done it in the area. Several Firestones have done that. Vantage Credit Union over the years, Harlan Packaging down in DeSoto. Call Darren today and schedule your free estimate. 877-25-RHINO, easy to remember phone number, or go online today at 877-25rhino.com.
The time is 1:45 at 97.1 FM Talk, and this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Did you know St. Louis leads the nation in rounding up at our local McDonald's restaurants? That small change can make a big difference by supporting the building of a new local Ronald McDonald House. Please learn more at rmhcstl.com.
Not just right and left, right and wrong. We're discussing it every day on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
We go together, better than birds of a feather, you and me. We change the weather, yeah. I'm feeling heat in December when you found me. I've been dancing on top of cars and stumbling out of bars. I follow you through the dark, can't get enough. You're the medicine and the pain, the tattoo inside my brain. And baby, you know it's obvious, I'm a sucker for you. Say the word and I'll go anywhere blindly. I'm a sucker for you. Yeah. Any road you take, you know that.
Brad, you need a vacation.
Yeah, that wasn't really a vacation we had.
Why don't you take a couple days, buddy?
Good grief.
That wasn't a vacation?
That was a party. I have not stopped moving since.
Actually, I got to kind of agree with him. None of us are refreshed.
I'm not wrong.
We're all tired. Well, I feel mentally great. Well, that's not true. I am having trouble finding words today.
It's just a minor
I have
hazard.
thoughts. They just can't quite make it out the same way they usually do.
You almost struggled right there.
That was on purpose. That was
How long
for
should we
dramatic
talk
effect.
until Brad plays the thing?
Right? It's really up to him.
What time is it?
We're going to keep going,
guys.
We're going to keep going. It was 1:46 or 1:45 a couple
just
minutes
before.
ago. Yeah, not now.
This just in.
Yeah. Well, it takes me a while because like we're doing those time checks. Sometimes there's a long gap between when I know that it's happening and when I know what time it actually is. Because, we're in radio. We don't have clocks everywhere.
If you're watching on the YouTube live, you know. Okay. He wants us to stop. Do the time check. I wanted
1:48.
I wanted
Jerry
you
Kelly.
to make up the time so bad.
Man,
No.
if I could just give you guys some behind the scenes thing here. I need to have News PC pulled up on the board for Ryan, and it's usually up here. Then I got looking. Ryan's like, yeah, I need that, and it's not down here. So I'm trying to spin through these things, getting that going. I also have to hit the sounder, and it's just like, just keep going, guys, keep talking.
Brad has a lot going on in any given moment.
A
over
lot and very little sleep, just like most of us do. But
How much sleep did you get last night?
Let's see. Which
Just give us numbers. We'll do the math.
Yeah,
for
I'm
you.
going to say, I went to bed. It was probably 2 a.m. whenever I finally fell asleep.
Ooh,
And
that's
then-
later than me, man.
Yeah,
Me too.
and then I got up at 6:30.
after a long weekend of also not sleeping and hard exercise.
Yeah, like after 80,000 steps or whatever it is we said.
3 days of party feels different at 40.
Yes, you're darn right.
I'm not quite there yet, but
since we're doing this
Nor am
radio
I.
show here, I'm
I
going
was
to
just
test and see.
throwing to Ryan Wiggins, who's been 40 for a while.
There we go. It is working. He's got it up. He's doing a great job.
That's a live sound of me getting these people going on vacation this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, we were all like, let's just have fun. No, you are riding as many rides as possible.
she hired the Green Army men to march behind us with drums.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing.
Needed you to move faster.
It was quite a weekend.
We'll recap in the 2
Yeah,
o'clock
we'll
hour.
get there. But first,
It's 1:49.
it's 1:49 in St. Louis in the PM.
Don't
You're
say
listening to
in
Perspectives.
the PM. The PM?
That's the way Tim, here's the words part. Here's where I get caught because I can't remember Tim Meadows. Tim Meadows. It just comes a little later than usual when you're tired. Tim Meadows used
The
to do a
ladies'
sketch
man?
called, he used to do a sketch called Perspectives on Saturday Night Live.
I have some perspectives right now.
And he would just stop in the middle of interviews and go, it is 3:46 in the PM or in the AM, and you were watching Perspectives.
The number one thing that you're supposed to do as a broadcaster these days is be relatable.
Yeah.
And it's always funny to think about stuff like that broadcasters do, but doing it like when your significant other asks, hey, what time is it? It's 1:49 in the PM.
It's 1:49
Like, nobody
in the
does
PM.
that. But I think that you listening right now, the next time you're asked about the time, just say it that way in the PM or the AM, and then just watch and see what happens next. Go
Yes.
on. Anyway.
And say that you got it here, not from Saturday Night Live.
And that it was brought to you by Jerry Kelly.
Yeah, tell your spouse that. All right, here's the first one. We'll start light. We'll work our way up. Pizza vending machines. We talked about this, I think, a little bit last week, but they are a reality now. Cincinnati restaurant is testing out what it hopes will soon be a nationwide trend, pizza vending machines. They are outside of this pizza pub in Cincinnati, and they feature touch screens that allow customers to select their ingredients, pay with a credit card, and the machine spits out a hot and fresh pizza within 3 minutes. You guys down
I don't
with
really
pizza
feel
vending
like
machines?
it could be hot. I don't know about fresh.
Well, I guess it depends on how often they have to restock it. Is it throwing the dough inside the machine for you?
That's actually a little man, and they're doing that.
Well, then I'm in.
Are
It
they
would have been
like
done earlier, but they couldn't find someone small enough.
are they sitting up there like with those spiral ones where it drops off and it's going to like stick up against the glass and not actually drop out?
No, actually, it's Annie's version.
Yeah, little man.
Yeah, it's a little person in there. And he or she, I feel like in this case, would be much better off outside of a box. So I'm going to say no, I don't like that.
In a restaurant as a human size, just making
yeah.
pizzas at a Pizza Hut.
Yes, that would also be fine. Now, I think this is a great idea. 3 minutes for a pizza, and you don't have to, you don't have anybody there for you doing anything. You just have to press the button. I like it.
It's not going to be good pizza.
I'm still struggling with that fresh word.
Next story.
It's 1:52.
It is 1:52 in the PM. It may not be legal in every state of the union, but one thing is certain: in the places where it is, marijuana is a moneymaker. Recreational marijuana currently brings in about $33 billion per year, according to analysis by some fact book thing. MJ Biz Fact Book. There you go, if you want the reference.
if
You want to go
what-
look it up for yourself.
We're not going to know. Like, if that doesn't bring extra weight to the story, maybe just leave that
Maybe
part
just
out.
exit out next time. Okay, I'm learning on the job. Quite the haul for a product that is illegal in over half of the 50 U.S. states. But of the 22 states that have voted to legalize recreational marijuana, 3 just came online this year: Delaware, Maryland, and, you may recall, Missouri. So it begs the question, who's next?
Who's next?
Glad you asked. 4 states could be leaning toward legalization in the near future. Florida. Did you hear that? Minnesota,
All right.
Ohio,
Have a good time.
and Pennsylvania. The question being that if those states do pass it this year, which it looks like they might.
It's ironic that you mentioned Pennsylvania because they, on 420, their great senator, Senator Fetterman, held up that like 420 flag, and he looked like he'd been taken hostage. Someone was like, "Here, hold this," and he's like, "Okay," and he's holding up this sign that was like pro marijuana, and people were apt to point out, like, does it matter that it's illegal in Pennsylvania and America? Nope.
No, apparently not. I mean, it's moving through legislation, so I guess he's on the side of legalizing it, or somebody told him to hold a flag.
I think someone told him to hold a
One
flag.
of the two. But the question for you guys is, do you think that would put it over put it to the majority of states now having it legal? Is this inevitable? I mean, is it just going to happen?
Mark just said on our YouTube channel, "I'm sick of smelling weed from cars passing me on the highway and everywhere I walk. I cannot get over the pungent smell on the highway."
How does that happen? Cars move.
How much weed?
You would think smoke moves.
How much weed is happening?
Yes.
In that moment.
Why is it just there, too?
That's all I care about is my nose when I'm driving in the car. It's like oh my gosh.
And the amount of weed that's happening to make that smell that pungent.
Yes.
Oh,
that
it's gotta
cannot
be
be safe.
thick. It's
That
gotta
can't be safe.
thick.
You're not allowed to smoke while you're driving,
Well.
correct?
Yeah. You can't smoke while you're driving. Unless it's not enforced.
But it happens all the time.
Yes.
So you can't drink while you're driving either. Are there people in cars having a road soda, drinking? What if you could smell it every time that was happening? Would we be like, oh my gosh, this is happening all the time? When you're smoking dope, is weed dope? Dope weed?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh man.
Just go ahead. Have your
Dope
time.
weed.
Take your time.
Is it the same?
I think so.
See,
I'm not the
know.
person to
You're
ask.
laughing at me because I said something stupid,
I
but
was-
you don't know it either.
I'm laughing because
so let's
I'm
stand on the
pretending that I know.
same side as stupid and here together.
We're doing good.
Brad?
I think it is, because I think dope is just a general term for drugs.
Or idiots.
True.
Be a dope.
Don't smoke dope. Don't be a dope. Dare told me that.
It's 1:55.
Actor Richard in the PM. Actor Richard Dreyfuss
Post-Meridian.
is not a fan of the Academy Awards'
I looked
new
it up.
diversity guidelines.
Meridium.
Officials announced in 2020 that beginning in 2024, so next year, movies must meet certain criteria for representation to be eligible for the Academy Award Best Picture. Dreyfuss told Margaret Hoover during an interview Friday on PBS Firing Line that such rules make me vomit. When Hoover asked him why, the actor said, "Because this is an art form."
They make me vomit.
Why?
You got it.
Because this is an art form. It's
He went on to
also
say,
a form of commerce, and it makes money, but it's an art. And no one should be telling me as an artist that I have to give in to the latest, most current idea of what morality is.
by the way, he was in an elevator for that interview. You could hear the music.
It's 1:56. We'll be back at about 2:05. Don't go away.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this this free information by dialing 800-924-7415. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-924-7415. 800-924-7415. 800-924-7415.
I put myself in the hands of Slim 180 to help me lose weight. I'm going to be going on one of their plans here shortly, and I stand by their success with so many of the different clients that have come from you guys who have gone to see Slim 180 to lose the 10 pounds, the 15 pounds, the 50 pounds, the 100 pounds, maybe even more. Slim 180 is there with different plans that can work with you. So what fits me or what fits my neighbor may not be the thing that you choose. When you sit down with the counselors at Slim 180, you find out how to lose weight with them successfully based on your needs, on your triggers, on your goals. They have a Regenerate program that has a semaglutide, which is that very popular shot right now that you can get. A lot of people are doing it. You can get it much more reasonably priced at Slim 180 than a pharmacy. If you want to learn about the Slim 180 closest to you, go to myslim180.com. I trust them. I think you should give them a chance as well. Just visit them at myslim180.com.
I'm Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey. As the state's chief legal officer, I will enforce the laws as written. I will hold accountable those who violate state and federal law by knowingly hiring unauthorized workers. By paying lower wages and avoiding taxes, businesses using unauthorized workers put honest ones at a competitive disadvantage. Report businesses that employ unauthorized workers at ago.mo.gov.
Brought to you by the Missouri Department of Labor and Industrial Relations.
Give Mom what she's begged for all these years, a clean home. Mom deserves nothing but the best. Call our friends at Zero Res. Schedule today and get 3 rooms of carpet clean for just $129. Take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Make sure to mention me, Mark Reardon. ZeroResSTL.com or call 314-474-2020.
The only person who can change your life is you, but you need to know how. Listen to my show, The Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins.
Listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is a Fox News alert. A verdict is reached in a Trump case on Lisa Brady. It's a civil case in New York accusing former President Trump of sexual assault and defamation. The verdict has not been announced yet. Earlier, Trump posting a new message about the case and getting flagged by the accuser's team.
Lawyers for author E. Jean Carroll told the judge about a post today from the former president on his Truth Social platform. In it, the defendant calls Carroll's claim a false accusation and plays on his status as an announced candidate for president, saying he wasn't allowed to offer his own defense.
Fox's Gernal Scott, the former president, did have a chance to testify and declined. The jury must decide if Carroll's battery and defamation claims are valid, and if so, how much she is owed in damages. In the instructions, the judge telling the jury they had to decide whether there was more than a 50% chance Carroll was raped. Again, just getting word that a verdict is in. They are set to announce it at this hour. An hour from now, President Biden meets with the top 4 members of Congress, including the House Speaker, on the debt limit.
This will be the highest stakes meeting in the careers of President Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. However, do not expect a handshake soon. This is just a touching of the gloves. They last met in February.
Fox's Chad Pergram on the Hill.
If the government hits the debt ceiling, it runs out of cash. It can't pay federal benefits or make payroll. The White House insists the debt ceiling is not negotiable.
The House Speaker has said a so-called clean debt bill to raise the debt ceiling without spending cuts would not pass. Thousands of migrants are lining up at the southern border.
Right now, we believe we have a robust plan, a multi-agency plan to do this in a humane way.
White House spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre, as a COVID-era restriction ends on Thursday, Republicans have blamed President Biden's policies for an existing surge of migrants. America is listening to Fox News.
Finding great people to hire is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's pretty difficult, right? Well, ZipRecruiter has mastered finding a needle in a haystack, so they take it to the next level. They make hiring so simple that it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. And that's why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Here's what it's like to use ZipRecruiter. They have so many qualified candidates that it's easier to find the right ones for your roles. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's a lot of needles. So how do they do it? ZipRecruiter's powerful technology sends you candidates who are a great match for your job, and you can even invite your top choices to apply. So if you want less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It's a good-looking Tuesday afternoon. Weather-wise, partly to mostly sunny skies. Just call it nice, about where we should be, 79, 80. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, a drop through the 70s this evening, 55 for the low. Wednesday, partly sunny, breezy, maybe an isolated thunderstorm, but really tough to find. Think dry Wednesday, 82. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
STS-Armory.com is the website if you are looking to find a place where you can go to purchase firearms, to get the education you need, or just in general get answers to your questions when it comes to gun laws in the state of Illinois. STS Armory, they are the experts. 618-931-4867. That's 618-931-GUNS. They're located in Pontoon Beach, Illinois. It's incredibly simple to get to from wherever you're traveling from. Highway 111 and South Drive, easy to get to from Highway 111 on 270. Reach out to them and ask them your questions about maybe something you own, something you're looking to own, or if you're looking to achieve a specific goal with a purchase, they can help guide you through that. We have done that as well in our family. We had a budget and we said we would like to do X, Y, and Z, and then they tell us how we can achieve that. They have classes that are going to walk you through everything you need to know, from the most basic level, never fired a gun before, to expert level trainer, instructor level classes, including those conceal and carry classes you need to qualify and be in compliance with Illinois state law. Illinois gun shoppers, and if you're looking for classes, go to STS-Armory.com.
Updating your home with James Hardie Siding has never been more popular. With all of the options available, you need a partner to maximize your investment. The rising prices on vinyl siding has made Hardie Siding a great alternative. Siding Express is ready to refresh the appearance of your home or totally transform the look by installing Hardie Shake, board and batten, lap siding, or a stone accent to make it your dream home again. Siding Express is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor. Need ideas? Go to sidingexpress.com and schedule a free, no-obligation consultation today.
Hi, this is Brian with Velocity Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 314-782-3333. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition and any price range in the St. Louis area. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that needs updating, but you don't have the time or money for it? Great, because I love buying outdated houses. I buy vacant houses, job relocation houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 314-782-3333. That's 314-782-3333.
There are over 10,000 reasons why steel is not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot. Find tools for the job site or your own backyard at over 10,000 authorized local steel dealers. Find yours at steelusa.com. Lowe's and the Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
I'm Eric Robert with Stifel. The economy is always changing, but what does it mean for your investments? Join me and fellow Stifel financial advisor Bob Stockdale during On the Money, Saturday mornings from 11 until noon on 97.1 FM Talk. Stifel, member NYSE and SIPC.
Filtering the BS pushed by the mainstream media.
St. Louis is home for conservative talk.
97.1 FM Talk.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I
love the ladies. I mean, they read my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We're watching the news as they have indicated that there is a verdict about to be read in the Carroll versus Trump civil trial. This is about rape. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a long time ago, but it is. Yeah, that's the case.
We'll let you know what that verdict is when we get there. We're not going to cover it. I don't have a whole lot of information on it other than the fact that the verdict is going to be reached. So we will let you know when that takes place. Speaking of Trump being in court, this was released. I don't know how often things like this get released, but this is Donald Trump. He's being deposed. And he's being questioned by the prosecution.
When you said in that video that Ms. Leeds would not be your first choice, you were referring to her physical looks, correct?
Just the overall. I look at her, I see her, I hear what she says, whatever. You wouldn't be a choice of mine either, to be honest with you. I hope you're not insulted. I would not, under any circumstances, have any interest in you.
Oh.
I'm honest when I say it. I would not have any interest in.
I think he just strengthened his case.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, he just plays on a different level. I'm not saying that level is higher or lower than whatever is in your mind, but this guy does not play the same way that people play.
There is no filter.
It's one of his greatest appeals and his biggest drawbacks. And you can't, I have said, I'll say it again. He needs to stop doing that in a way that is negative. But you can't say that with a realistic anticipation that it's going to change, because it's not going to change.
No.
He's being deposed. Should we listen to it again?
Yeah, please.
You said in that video that Ms. Leeds would not be your first choice. You were referring to her physical looks, correct?
Just the overall. I look at her, I see her, I hear what she says, whatever. You wouldn't be a choice of mine either, to be honest with you. I hope you're not insulted. I would not, under any circumstances, have any interest in you. I'm honest when I say it. I would not have any interest in.
It's not just a slip of the tongue. It's like, let me clarify what I said there. I do not have any interest in you.
So the verdict has been read, and Donald Trump has been found liable of battery, I think is what it said there on the lower third. Jury awards this woman, is it Judy Carroll, $2 million in Trump civil suit. We'll get the details on that when there is a report that is released. But Trump's not exonerated there.
No, but it sounds like the main. I don't know if battery is. People will use that now to say he is a.
You're not going to excuse battery. I hope.
No, I think people are looking for the word to figure out how to frame to talk about Trump in the future. And battery, I don't know how that translates to you are a batterer.
Benny Johnson says Trump found liable of battery, not liable of rape in the E. Jean Carroll case. So that's there. So and then tomorrow, how much it's worth noting here, and we're going to get into the details of our weekend here in a minute, but it is worth noting that we have been busy in the last 3 days. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Just slightly.
Yeah, we've been
on the break. Ryan goes, I think I just fell asleep for 5 seconds there.
I did. I had to remind
Everybody's
myself
apologizing to everybody today for
sucking.
We're all sorry to everyone.
Yeah, we maybe shouldn't even be here. I don't feel that bad, but I think I function on less sleep than all of you do.
Yes.
Very much so.
How much do you know about what is Jim Carafano at 105 alluded to this as well, but the business dealings of Joe Biden? There's supposed to be some information on that tomorrow.
Okay.
Yes.
I know about what's happening. I didn't know that there was going to be something else specific to tomorrow.
You pulled that Julie Kelly sound. I don't know who Julie Kelly is. Was that an imprisonment comment about this case?
No, I think that one's in referral to, was it the Oath Keepers that were convicted?
I don't have.
There was four Oath Keepers convicted in January 6th.
Yes. Okay, that was
when he is indicted if he's indicted of seditious conspiracy, which I think the chances of that just increased tremendously today. I can see Jack Smith seeking pretrial detention for Donald Trump, which is exactly what they've done in every defendant who's been charged with seditious conspiracy. So now they have a precedent for these courts to sign off on pre-trial detention orders, meaning denied bail. You will be held in prison until your trial commences.
So that's Julie Kelly saying that the stage has been set for Donald Trump's imprisonment. Our conversations with Andy McCarthy and also with Mike Davis, both high-profile commentators in the media with their legal expertise, are very, very definitive. None of that would preclude him from being able to continue his run for office. Is there anything, Ryan, that could happen? Because you said your answer to today's YouTube live chat poll is, who's your choice for president in 2024? Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, or someone else? You said Trump.
Yes.
Is there a domino that could fall for you that would say, I gotta be somewhere else on this?
In the things currently happening, or just in general? Because
there's so much swarming around him. He's been pretty untouchable up until now, but there's a lot going on.
I mean, yeah, there's always a line. It's just weird with him because he was so upfront. He's been a public figure, and he's just been so upfront about all the different things he's done. I mean, some of the Stormy Daniels stuff was really on the line for me, but it was already after he was in office, so it didn't really change anything. But there's always going to be a line that you can cross. It's the court cases that I don't know that any of those are going to do it for me, because at this point everything looks like political persecution.
Can you cue up his reaction to this case?
Turley?
Yes, Jonathan Turley. Just if you can rewind that so we can get some expert analysis on this E. Jean Carroll case, because the jury finding Donald Trump sexually abused E. Jean Carroll is the news, and $2 million awarded to her is pretty big news. So when you get that from me, we're doing this live, so when you get that from me, Brad, just let me know. There's a comment here that said imprisonment. Kevin said, if Trump were a Democrat, a conviction would be a resume enhancement. He has that in quotes. And he said, seems like it is with Republicans. If they put him in prison, I think that there are people who are voting who would say they're after him even more. I mean, to me, it's as though we have already drawn conclusions on this man. He's so polarizing that people have drawn their conclusions on him before they are even asked the question to conclude.
Look, I'll tell you the truth. Because I was looking, what's that word? I said, is it battery? Sexual abuse. That will be added to him as a convicted sexual abuser now. That's going to hang on him. I promise you.
Well, this is a civil case, right?
Yes, but.
I mean, the repercussion, the consequence is different, but the charge and conviction is still is what it is.
I mean, as if he didn't have baggage, but. I mean, these things do stick, and eventually they might become too much for him to overcome.
Let's listen to Jonathan Turley's analysis of this situation.
Yeah, that dog won't hunt. If that's the argument on appeal, then it's going to be a rather quick appeal. There are other issues here that he might appeal on. Judge Kaplan was really quite yielding on the demands for witness testimony. He allowed in a lot of evidence, including the Hollywood Access tape and these other witnesses. Obviously, Trump had never been convicted or found guilty, either criminally or civilly, in those cases. So there was a lot of evidence here that the defense could say should not have been brought into the case or should have been handled differently. The problem for President Trump is that this is a mixed question of law and fact. There are some legal issues here, like the ones I mentioned about allowing in certain types of testimony. But when it comes to factual determinations, the Court of Appeals tends to be leery of overturning those. Jury decisions are really sort of iron-plated because you have to show that they were clearly erroneous. They're not going to be able to show that here with all this testimony. So the only way to really unravel this is to say that the jury heard things that they shouldn't have been allowed to hear because they were too prejudicial. The biggest problem for the president, I think, at trial, and it's going to be on appeal, is he decided not to testify. He didn't even appear in the courtroom. That not only triggered inferences, but it likely poisoned the well a bit for these jurors. Jurors don't like it. They don't like it in criminal or civil cases when the key accused party doesn't speak to them.
Okay. So we do have some of the tape from the deposition that they did, had the access to. The first one I want to play is call for number 2. This is the former president denying that this ever happened. And let's watch this and let's bring Andy back in and see how persuasive or not, apparently, this was for the jury. Watch this.
It didn't happen. And by the way, if it did happen, it would have been reported within minutes. Talking about going to a major floor, probably, I assume, the most important floor, a major floor, in a major department store, that's a very busy store, by the way, and checkout counters and everything else. And I would be in there. I mean, it's the most ridiculous, disgusting story. It was just made up.
All right, so I want to play the other one too, because this was perhaps, and these are anonymous jurors, but this other part of the deposition got a lot of attention when the former president was asked about something that he had said in the Access Hollywood tape way back when he was running in the 2016 race. That was hugely controversial moment. A lot of people thought he wouldn't survive this moment as a candidate. And because of the circumstances of what E. Jean Carroll described, this became part of this trial as well. And here is what he said when the attorney asked him whether or not he thought that stars could get away with the kind of battery that was accused in this case. Watch this.
Well, historically, that's true with stars.
It's true with stars that they can grab women by the...
Well, welcome back. I'm going to interject here because I'm not 100% sure how that audio is going to sound, and I want to keep the show family friendly. We're watching as the verdict has come in here. Former President Donald Trump has been found guilty of sexually abusing E. Jean Carroll. The charge and the liability is for battery and defamation. This says, I guess there were multiple charges because this says he must pay $5 million. I think that for battery it was $2 million, and including defamation, he's going to have to pay $5 million. Is this something you think? I mean, you were kind of saying this before we listened in, Ryan. It's hard. It's always hard to tell. The news hits, it drops, and we think, well, obviously this is going to impact. There are going to be people who hear this. You can't hear something like this and not be impacted by it. But the question is, what kind of staying power does it have in our absolutely black and white political world, where if the results come down to Biden or Trump, there are going to be people who vote for Biden because Donald Trump's the worst thing ever. There are going to be people who vote for Trump because Joe Biden is the worst thing ever. Do you think that this affects the race?
Yeah, I do, because just pure analysis here, they're going to target certain voter groups. Probably they always talk about suburban women. They target suburban women for different reasons. They will target that group, among others, especially women, with the phrase convicted sexual abuser. Probably from now through, I mean, assuming he's the nominee, through the election. You're going to hear this from now on from people who are trying to attach this millstone to him and not let him get away from it.
Does it matter that there are presidents in the past that have very similar allegations, provable in some cases, inappropriate relationships? I mean, no two situations are the same. No two women who are affected in this way are the same. But I'm so disappointed in our inability to see past just the Trump or no. Biden or no? I mean, that just seems to be it. Andy McCarthy reacted to this news here. Let's listen.
Something like that. I mean, I think the impact was devastating because of the way, not only what he said, but the way that they presented it. We've seen the Access Hollywood tape up till this point, mainly in the abstract. I think one of the most effective things that the Carroll lawyers did was to introduce the tape to the jury in the course of the testimony of Natasha Stoynoff, who was one of the women who claimed that she had been sexually assaulted by former President Trump. So it was not a situation where it could just be sort of dismissed as locker room banter in the abstract. They had a woman on the stand who was having a very difficult time getting through the story of what she said happened to her, who said she came forward because of the Access Hollywood tape. And then when they played the tape, it's the same things that she says happened to her.
All right, Jonathan, quick comment on those two pieces of tape from the deposition, and then we're going to bring in Ronna McDaniel. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Well, they are devastating. The first tape actually shows what Trump could have said on the stand. His point is a valid one. This was the worst possible place anyone could choose to commit battery in a very crowded area. And you can make that argument on the stand. But that deposition turned out to be a nightmare. Because they were able, because he wasn't there, they were able to use those. And I think it really destroyed the defense in the end.
So, I mean, you kind of listen to all this, and it seems as though Donald Trump could have potentially done more for his own case by showing up to court. We're taking this news live. It's breaking here during our show, and so we want to make sure that we cover it for you. And we're getting a lot of feedback as well here on the Annie Frey YouTube live chat. Should he have shown up for the deposition? In a political climate where everything is visual, you don't want to put yourself in a position where, if Donald Trump is in a courtroom and there's a photograph that can be taken of him in a courtroom and another courtroom and another courtroom and another courtroom. In my mind, I already see the campaign ad for the Biden campaign. How many questions need to be asked, and putting up all of these different photos of him in different scenarios where he's in these legal. So if you were making all of your decisions based on optics for a political campaign, at some point, if you're innocent, then you need to show up and defend yourself for being innocent. And the frequency with which Donald Trump has had to show up or to prove his innocence, when you hear somebody like Nancy Pelosi, when she even tweeted out, like, Donald Trump will have the opportunity to prove his innocence. And it's like, record scratch, what? This is the world that Donald Trump has lived in. It's very frustrating because when Donald Trump is found guilty for something like this, a lot of people in America are trained to assume that this is an automatic witch hunt. It's very hard to take it on the surface. Anything else before we break?
Well, just that all the other cases, they're political baseball. They're, how did you use your money? Did you give it to your lawyer, or did you give it directly to somebody? Contracts, even the stuff in Georgia that we may see soon, that's political stuff. We all kind of watch that happen. This is a different kind of case, and therefore it will be treated differently. And it will last, I think, much longer than some of those other ones that absolutely would just be politically brushed aside.
Fox News says the jury decided that Trump was not guilty of rape, but was guilty of sexual abuse and defamation. The president has been ordered to pay $2 million. Their lower third on cable has said $5 million as well. So I wonder if there are multiple charges. Big news. Might be a game changer happening in the middle of our show when our YouTube live chat poll is, who is your choice for president in 2024? I would love to know if anybody who's listening and watching right now, if you're not on with us on the YouTube channel, but this is you, make sure you get there and you comment. Did this change your opinion about anything today in the span of this 3-hour show? Who's your choice for president in 2024? Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, or somebody else? Leave a comment and let us know why you voted the way you did. Should we talk about our weekend when we come back, guys? What do you think?
I don't think we have a choice.
Hey, wake Hannah up
to.
And we'll ask her again.
Sorry about that. I would like to talk about our weekend just so I can stay awake.
A big congratulations on 5 years. And you don't have any idea what I'm talking about. I'll tell you when we come back. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Tell me how I feel, but it's such a bitter pill. And yeah, I know you thought you had bigger, better things, but right now this is 'cause the
When you are purchasing a home, you're making an offer. You want to make an offer that's competitive, that's going to win you the house that you want to make your home, but you don't want to offer more than you have to, and you don't want to overextend yourself. Partner with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage. Stewie is going to show you all about the bagel loan. I've refinanced twice with the bagel loan, both times to lower my interest rate. Right now, you might be able to lower your interest rate as well on the current home that you have because rates are really high if you got a new house in the last year or so. Check and see if they're lower now. You can save tons of money. Going back to that home purchase, though, when you use the bagel loan, you don't pay any fees. No closing costs. You take that money and you use it in a way that works better for you than handing it over to all the people who want to collect all those fees when you make a purchase on a home. Stewie is there to help guide you through this process and to make you the most competitive buyer when it comes to buying a home. Missouri folks, Illinois folks alike, use the bagel loan. Use Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage. 314-324-4440. Call or text 314-324-4440. You can Google the bagel loan also. NMLS number 226-715.
This is Flea for This Little Light, a podcast about falling in love with music. I started a nonprofit music school about 20 years ago called the Silver Lake Conservatory of Music. The reason that I started doing this podcast was music education. I'll be speaking with Rick Rubin, Thundercat, Stuart Copeland, Margot Price, Corey Henry, Cynthia Erivo, Sheila E., and Patty Smith.
Please listen and follow This Little Light, a presentation of Cadence 13 on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
Over 90,000 satisfied customers since 1929. Frederick Roofing, 314-645-2000.
If you have ever thought about remodeling your bathroom but were worried it would take too long or cost too much, then stop worrying. Right now, Jacuzzi Bath Remodel has designed a collection of high-quality custom products and perfected the one-day remodeling experience so you can enjoy your new bathroom faster than ever before. It's a worry-free bath remodel from the most trusted brand name in the business, Jacuzzi. For a virtual or in-home appointment, call 800-826-9895. That's 800-826-9895. 800-826-9895.
Do you have an invention idea but don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp today. We have representatives nationwide who will explain the InventHelp process step by step. Over 10,000 patents have been secured through InventHelp's patent referral services. The InventHelp Databank includes thousands of companies who have agreed to review new ideas. We've been helping inventors since 1984. Let's help you next. Get started today.
Call 1-800-217-4380. That's 1-800-217-4380. Again, 1-800-217-4380.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Warmer days are coming. Time to schedule your annual AC system check for as little as $15 a month. For any residential or commercial HVAC services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
If you use a smart speaker, you can listen to 97.1 easier than ever. Just tell it to play 97.1 FM Talk. Or download the Odyssey app for your phone and stream the station whenever, wherever. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Memories. So we're going to talk a little bit here about our weekend. Yeah, we went to Disney World over the weekend. Brad, you looking great.
Feeling great, Annie. Feeling
I don't
great.
know, a little goofy, but
Love Goofy. Leave me alone.
A lot goofy.
I will never listen to this song the same again.
Yeah?
I can just
feel
the happiness.
Everybody knows how I feel about Disney World. I love it. It's my happy place. I get it. It's not everybody's happy place. I get it that there are folks who are very upset that I choose to spend my money there. But I have never engaged in anything where I try to do what made everyone happy because, first of all, it's not possible. And second of all, to me, it's something that I do with my family, a place I can go that brings us together. It brings us joy. And we've been able to share that with a lot of people, my husband and I, family members, friends over the last few years. And you guys got to be a part of that. And I took you, I don't know what you even call it. But I don't want to predispose you to say anything about your trip. I just want you to give me your reaction and say what you want to say. Brad, I'll let you go first.
So the way I would what I want, the very first thing I want to say is thank you. It was a blast. I had a lot of fun, and like you said, you don't know how to say what it was that you did with Disney. What you did was you are a Disney Sherpa.
Mm-hmm.
You know the thing. You accompanied us on the journey. You made stuff happen for us, and you created the best Disney experience we could possibly have.
Oh, that's right.
And none of us died on Everest.
Nobody died on Everest.
Yeah.
We even escaped the Yeti. It was crazy.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
But now I can, after going and seeing and experiencing and all that other stuff, I get it. It's like I've always seen Disney adults, Disney families. I was like, I don't understand like what the appeal is, because in my brain it was always a theme park.
And now that you're a Democrat, how do you feel?
I'm not a Democrat. You know what? I was
Just
very
accept it.
I was very surprised along that line about how much that
You're wearing a Joe
wasn't
Biden
very-
hat right now.
Oh, this is true. This is true. But
visual joke.
Yeah, visual joke.
You gotta,
Jump on the
you gotta
YouTube.
get on the live stream to see
And when
it.
you do that, then vote in the poll.
Yeah.
Anyway, I get it. I understand why it's not just a theme park. I mean, it's a theme park, but it's so much more. And like,
You had said that you when we did Ask Me Anything on Friday, I think you said your biggest worry was that, did you say it was going to be a letdown?
yeah, I didn't want to allow myself to be let down, like, because it's still in the back of my brain. I was like, this is just a theme park. But I
built it up a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
you know how much I like it.
I so appreciate the amount of attention to detail. When you go in there, you're exiting reality. You're entering the Magic Kingdom or Hollywood Studios. It's its own reality. And there's at no point are you not being entertained by something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like there's always somebody dancing or whatever, but there's just, you're in a different world, different sights, different sounds, smells, everything. It's just so incredibly immersive.
Awesome. Hannah?
I had a blast. Really, thank you, Annie. Thank you, everybody who went on the trip. It was so amazing. It almost makes me emotional because it just felt like I was in a different world. I wasn't, focused on Disney's woke policies at all. That never was like a conflict in the trip. I just was so happy. I haven't laughed that hard in a really long time. I was constantly entertained. Disney was not what I expected. Before I went, I kind of was like, okay, I feel like this caters more towards children, and I'm not the biggest Disney fan. I didn't grow up on Disney. I was a Nickelodeon kid, so I didn't know like how much of it I would understand. But
We had to write Nickelodeon on our forehead the whole weekend. It was really awkward.
Nickelodeon kid.
I was thoroughly impressed. I felt like it catered more towards adults than children at points, and it was really, really special. Everybody was just so happy there. The nicest people. I've never received more like compliments in my life than I did from the Disney cast members. It was crazy. It was just amazing. And thank you, Annie, for, showing us that experience and letting us be a part of it. My expectations for Disney are super, super high now that we went with the pro. I don't know that I'll be able to ever do that on my own because you really know the parks and you made us have the absolute best experience. So thank you for that.
I'm just going to put this ball in the tee and then set the tee to the side, but you have a lot of Ryan Wiggins social media coming soon.
Oh, yes. If you are not following our Annie Frey Show Instagram page at The Annie Frey Show, you will want to follow that now.
Ryan?
These are professional pictures.
If you don't
Just so you
have
know,
an
these aren't
profile,
our phone pictures.
Make one.
Make
for
one.
This.
You want to see this stuff.
It's hard to describe.
The best one was the dude who said, we said we're going to do this picture, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'm a sports photographer."
Yeah.
I mean, these are quality.
This is a direct quote.
These are very good pictures, and I have ruined them.
What were you going to say,
or
Hannah?
enhanced them.
Yeah, Annie, I don't know if you for sure peed your pants, but I think you were close looking at these photos of Ryan Wiggins.
We were so sleep deprived. We were sitting in the Magic Kingdom having lunch the other day. And I mean, like, you would have thought that we were 2 cases of beer in because we were laughing
people
so
around us
hard.
had to be like, what
We
the
were
heck?
looking at these photos and just talking and laughing deliriously so much, and it pretty much all centers around you, Ryan.
I thought we were going to get asked to leave because we were being
having too much
that
fun.
obnoxious with laughing at these, all the things. All the things.
Ryan, you've been to Disney World, so Brad and Hannah had their first real exposure to everything Disney. You've gone multiple times. You came to work today, so that's exciting. Your thoughts on the trip?
I will say it's almost perpendicular to what they said, not quite parallel. I thought that it was just not great. I thought it was you didn't do a very good job. I give you a C.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
And not because of outcome, but because you tried so hard. The outcome was an F.
The outcome was an F.
But you really put your all
F
into
for
it.
fun.
That's what I meant. What did you take it as? No, I will say that it was a blast. It was the reason it was so fun is because we went into 72 hours, and I mean burned. We did not stop from the time we left this show. I think on Friday, it was so intense. Flying out. You didn't sleep for 2 straight days. I mean, that's not an exaggeration.
No, seriously, guys.
You really didn't.
I didn't. You did. You guys did. Not
Well,
much.
I slept the
You're
most
pointing
out of
to
anybody,
me saying you.
We got 3 hours of sleep, so
Yes.
we were fine.
Me and you got 3 hours, and they're like, "Oh, you guys are so well rested."
Is it an hour and a half?
Yeah.
There's a point where if you go to sleep for an hour and a half, it's
just gonna hurt.
questionable whether it's worth the hour and a half of sleep.
But it was so intense, and we knew that it was gonna be. But actually doing it, and then not only not sleeping, but then doing 3 days of intense workout, hard
How
walking.
many miles did we walk a day? We were tracking this.
30,000 steps is 15 miles.
15 miles a
We
day.
did 2 days of 30,000 steps at least, and then it was 20,000 yesterday.
Yeah. So
Ooh,
all
yeah,
that
I
to
feel
say that
I feel that, and from the toes up.
Yeah.
we didn't even
Ow.
have time. We didn't have time to sleep. We were going so fast.
But it was.
But it was. We
what
all
we-
agreed
we
that's what
wanted
we're
that.
doing.
I said so many times to you leading in, there's a way we can do this.
Yeah.
And it was involved. I mean, this is what they do. They give you the opportunity to buy your way into the front of the line. And we did it.
So
and
worth
so
it.
we
Yeah.
we accessed everything. I can think of 3 things that we did not do. One is the boat Avatar ride. The second is Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, which is a cool ride. We didn't get to do it. We just ran out of time. And the third thing is Spaceship Earth. We didn't do that couple.
Oh yeah, that was not even new.
But everything
Everything
else
else?
we pretty much did.
Check.
Every other, at least major ride.
And we
skipped
rode
some of the teacup
We rode
stuff,
their
but
2 brand new roller coasters, Guardians of the Galaxy and Tron. We rode both of those twice.
Yeah, and the way that we did it was not only through the apps and your planning, but by not sleeping and getting up at 6:30 the next morning
Early
after not
entry for
sleeping
the park,
and
I mean-
going in.
Just so people understand, I gave you guys the option all the time.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
was always reacting. I don't want people to think that I was just like a dictator about it.
No, you were very open. We all we
go-
requested.
We weren't
be-
whipping us with that. I was going to play that whip sound effect from my segment earlier, but I couldn't.
I mean,
grab it fast
everybody was like, "Let's go, let's
Yeah.
do it."
So we all know that Annie is a Disney pro, goes all the time. Did you not say that this was the hardest you've ever gone at Disney?
Times 2.
I love
That
it. I
says
love
a lot.
It
That
was
says
great.
a lot.
But we don't have to. I mean, if we ever did something like this as a show again, we don't have to go that hard. But it was one for the books.
Sure, it's a. I'm glad we did it. I said I did not know what I was capable of.
I didn't either. No, I got to the point, especially the first night after watching you. You were so out of it by the end of that first day because that was the moment where you had really been awake for almost 48 hours.
Yeah. I mean, literally did not sleep a wink.
No. And again, not just being awake, but
30,000 steps.
Hard exercise and in the Florida sun and all these things, you know. Watching you at the end of that, I was thinking, I really want to complain right now that my calves hurt and that I'm about to fall over. But I'm not going to do it in front of Annie because she hasn't slept at all. So let's just keep going.
We were like past the point of tired, past the point of exhaustion, and just going on like a Disney high that carried
You're
us
so
through.
disconnected from everything too because you're
man.
Partially because I got a new phone and I don't have Twitter on my new phone right now. So that already just disconnects you from news. And then being there, you really can't participate in anything. It's so immersive and you're so focused on fun.
I talked to Annie about this. I struggle with unplugging from work here. Not that we have the hardest jobs, but they're pretty heavy. You know, we're always
Depending
in the
on the
news cycle. It can be
the
heavy.
news is the news that comes across literally more than hourly in front of our eyeballs. 90% of it is not positive news.
Right. So it's hard to unplug. That Disney trip was the first time that I was able to unplug and fully relax since I started this job, and it was amazing. I did pay a high price for this, but I would have paid more because it was just an amazing
Don't tell
feeling.
them that.
Oh, Bob Iger, if you're listening,
I have a few things I'd like to say too. If he's listening, there are some priorities that I would like to discuss with him.
But it really was amazing. I just loved it and have the best things to say about it. Now for you two boys. Men. Whatever you guys are together.
When we come back, we have some news.
No, that's not news.
News!
We got a
It
story.
is. I said 90% of the news is bad, 10% is good, and we're going to give you some good news when we come back. It's so exciting. Yay! And the YouTube live chat poll results. Go vote your choice for president in 2024. And I think that for the people who want the full debrief of the Disney World trip, we're going to do an evening live stream soon where they get to say all the things and
Tonight
answer
at
the
2
questions.
a.m.
All right. I'll be up.
No more sleep.
We'll be back in a minute. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
Thomas Helbing and the Retirement Advisory Group having another seminar for you to attend and learn how you can protect your retirement. It's that simple. You just call, sign up, bring a friend, sit down, and listen. Thomas Helbig starts the event at 6:30, and he talks for maybe 45 minutes. It might not even be that long. He has free snacks and drinks there. And all you got to do is call 314-993-9494, 314-993-9494, and tell him you heard about this on the Annie Frey Show. It is coming up Tuesday, May 16th at the Frontenac Hilton. Just reserve your spot. As I said, it starts at 6:30. I am going to be there at about 6 o'clock, and I want to meet as many of you as I possibly can. I would just be absolutely honored to connect with you at this event. Mark Cox and Mark Reardon, they're going to be there as well. We'll talk with you for a little bit, and then we turn it over to Thomas Helbig, Bob Kershaw, Tammy Kershaw, and the Retirement Advisory Group. You could put yourself in the hands of these folks to listen to what they have to say, and then make the decision if you want to sign up for working with them after the fact. 314-993-9494, online at retirementkey.com.
If you'd like to work with a local company that gives back to the community, Window World is the preferred window of your St. Louis Blues. Mark Cox here from my friends out at Window World. What a great product. A lifetime warranty. It covers all the parts, the glass breakage, the labor. You've heard me say that before. And they've been around for over 20 years. They have improved the look and the efficiency of over 70,000 homes in the greater St. Louis area. They have the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. That's hard to get, right? And that's important. They're ranked number one in the number of windows sold in the country by Qualified Remodeler magazine. Call them for a free estimate. Let them show you why they say simply the best for less. New doors, new windows. With Window World, they're now offering 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. 314-993-1800. That's 314-993-1800. Or you can go online anytime to windowworld.com.
Hello, I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. I'm so proud that we've helped over 15,000 businesses claim over $5 billion in cash incentives. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. Every client is assigned a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to accurately determine eligibility. Innovation Refunds has hundreds of 5-star reviews on Trustpilot and Google, and your business might be entitled to receive up to $26,000 per employee. Businesses of all types can qualify, including medical, professional, construction, even nonprofits. Please don't miss out on this. Even your doctor would tell you to get an expert second opinion, and we do a lot of work for doctors. Download the Innovation Refunds app now or go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of $26,000 per employee. GetRefunds.com. GetRefunds.com.
St. Louis physician Dr. Abicki created Neovitin 15 years ago to help support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Since then, Neovitin has helped thousands of people support their daily nutrition with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Abicki's proprietary blend. If you're ready to join many St. Louisans in supporting their nutrition, give Neovitin a try. You can find Neovitin at your local Schnucks, Dierbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Gateway Warrior Foundation mission is simple, helping vets in need. Help support their mission by playing or sponsoring a hole at the 14th Annual Gateway Warrior Golf Classic October 9th. Be part of the Conservatives Care movement. Learn more at 971talk.com/care.
The time is 2:49. Make sure to get to the Annie Frey Show YouTube live chat poll and vote on it before we get the results in the next segment. It is 2:49. The time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Mark Reardon Show.
United States Senator Eric Schmidt is back with us.
If you think we've seen waves of illegal immigration, get ready for a tsunami.
Weekdays from 3 to 6. The Mark Reardon Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Come with me now.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
You know what's fun is when you find out where the cameras are on the rides. You just have a little fun
Brian,
with it,
that's
you know?
how you looked the entire time. Stop lying.
You can't see what we're laughing at.
Oh, man.
Get on the YouTube.
We've got so many ride photos and just things that we did. It's just, like Hannah said, the Annie Frey Show on Instagram. We'll put some up on Facebook, probably, but that seems to be where the angry people are.
Those two people sitting behind you didn't know they were going to be on our live stream today.
No. I wonder if the lady you sat next to and we're telling all of our personal details to on the airplane. You got to wonder if people talk to you and then on the airplane and you're headed to St. Louis and then you find out they're from St. Louis. And I'm always like, Ryan, shut up.
I did not say what we do.
You said where I live.
I did. I said, here's your address, but I didn't say that you could listen to you.
All right. Well, we are going to have more. We're going to do an off the air on YouTube post-game show. We're going to, I wanted to do it this Thursday night, but we might need some sleep all week. So I'm going to give these guys a little bit of time. We'll get with Erica Murphy, who's my co-host of the Pixie Dust podcast, which I host. And that is a podcast. It's not just about like, oh, Disney's awesome. It's a lot about how to plan a vacation. And if I could ask right now from the three of you for your endorsement that I know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
1,000%.
I'd say almost mostly.
Shut up.
There's one time this guy he was going to take a drink out of a cup, and the lid fell off. And I was like, this is ruining my day. I blame Annie.
And so your question, yeah.
Nobody picked it up, not even you.
It didn't even rain.
No,
it didn't.
The weather couldn't have been better.
Yeah, I was waiting for it so I could blame you for that.
And it didn't. I ordered the good rain, or the good weather, excuse me. So there is a lot to talk about. We aren't going to spend all of our time here doing it. We did want to spend one segment just discussing it because I know a lot of people listening knew we were going. And so if you missed it, we started talking about 20 minutes ago or so. The big news of the day right now is that the New York jury, I'm reading from Fox News, a federal jury in New York City reached a decision Tuesday in the civil trial of advice columnist E. Jean Carroll versus former President Donald Trump. The jury decided that Trump was not liable for rape, but was liable for sexual abuse and defamation. The jury awarded Carroll $5 million. 6 men, 3 women on the jury began deliberating Tuesday morning on the 9th day of the civil trial taking place in a Manhattan federal court. All of these things are details that matter to the conclusion of the story as it is right now. Carroll, 79, alleged that Trump raped her at the Bergdorf Goodman department store across the street from Trump Tower in Manhattan sometime in 1996. That's very specific. According to Carroll, the two had a chance run-in at the store where Trump was shopping for a gift for, quote, a girl. She said he asked her for advice, and the two shopped together before he pushed her into the dressing room and assaulted her. Trump and his legal team insists that Carroll's allegations are fabricated, with the former president's initial reaction, including an accusation that Carroll was motivated by wanting to sell copies of her book. That denial resulted in Carroll slapping Trump with a defamation claim, saying that his response caused harm to her reputation. Carroll's lawsuit requested compensatory and punitive damages, as well as an order that Trump retract his statement. $5 million is the civil result. There is always an appeal that could be down the line. It's not lost that this is 1996. She said this happened sometime in 1996. Is this going to go to the appeals court? Is this going to all be thrown out? It happened in a federal court in Manhattan. That is not favorable Trump territory as far as the court system goes. Jury of your peers. It is what it is. The appeal system will work as it usually does. And even if this were to get appealed and be completely tossed out, politically, whatever amount of damage is done, just like all of the other times. Here we are.
Yeah.
Kind of right where we started in some ways.
Yes. I do think this is going to be problematic for him to overcome, though, because I don't think this is going away.
The YouTube live chat poll today has something to do with President Trump. Hannah, you want to take it away?
The YouTube live chat poll today is asking, who is your choice for president in 2024? Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, or somebody else? We went around the room earlier. Annie, Brad, and I all said Ron DeSantis. Ryan said Donald Trump. Has your vote changed since this news came out?
No, I'll stick with my vote. I don't think that's going to change.
Okay, so far we have 232 votes in the poll asking who's your choice for president in 2024. We have 2 choices that are really close, so I will read those in just a second. Let me read some comments. First, Carlos says that he chose Trump because he's the strongest right now, but either him or DeSantis can do wonders for our country. Quick Rick says DeSantis for president can't take the Trump persona for another 4 years. Master from our Twitch page said Trump, Trump, and Trump. After what he's been put through, he deserves 8 more years. The YouTube poll asked, who is your choice for president in 2024? Donald Trump came in with 44% and won the poll. Ron DeSantis with 42%.
Oh, that's close.
Very close.
Yeah, 42 versus 44. Trump with 44, DeSantis with 42, someone else for 9%, and Joe Biden with 5%. So Trump won that poll by 2%. We had 234 votes on that.
Can you in your organizational system track this question? Because I want to ask this question, put the date and the results. I would like to see maybe weekly we do a poll like this so that we can kind of gauge how these things are affecting. It's the science poll. Something very efficient.
Well, that result is interesting, though, because that's very evenly split. Mm-hmm. So we'll see if things move.
Well, we appreciate you being here with us. If you haven't yet, go find the Annie Frey YouTube channel, and you can watch some of the videos I uploaded this morning, including you, Ryan. Apparently, you haven't seen them yet.
No.
You're in some of them.
No way.
You and I rode rides together.
We did.
It was
magical.
Was it? Mark Reardon coming up next.
So back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to